J. Watt, Von Miller,
Chiefs have anybody?
Myles Garrett, Ray Lewis, some of the older players.
Chiefs didn't get
honorable
anybody.
mentions.
They only got
Ed
honorable. Yeah, because
Reed.
Mitchell Schwartz got honorable mention. That was
Honorable
it.
mention. But that's about it. Yeah, man. I was kind of surprised considering. Look, I understand that the Chiefs have only been good for 10 of those 25 years. But that's not no part of that, man. So the Chiefs have been a functional, one of the best organizations in football for 10 of those 25 years, and you're telling me they got one dude?
Mm-hmm.
It's not their tight end. It's not even the guy who's on the roster anymore. Look, they weren't going to win quarterback. The Pro Football Focus grades don't like Mahomes, which I think should tell you something about your grading system personally. If I had a grading system and it regularly rated Patrick Mahomes as like the 8th best quarterback in the league, I would personally question my grading system. But like also, Tom Brady was always going to win that over a 25-year time period with a minimum number of snaps. Who else would be on there, though? Other than, let's say, the obvious miss. Mitchell Schwartz, Joe Tooney, and Travis Kelce. I would argue those would be the three where you're like...
Would Tooney be a Chief or a Patriot? Like, I mean, can you claim it?
I'm saying anybody who's
what?
played a number of snaps that I would consider them a Chief at any point in their life. I'd consider Joe Tooney a Chief.
Yeah, we won a couple
Super Bowls.
rings with them, so I think that's why you can still include him in this conversation. Yeah, reminder.
That's the only
It's
question.
it's the grades, because otherwise it's like, I'm sorry, nobody in their right mind can think over the last 25 years that George Kittle was a better tight end than Travis Kelce. I'm sorry, like George Kittle's amazing.
Not a smart football
George
person, in
Kittle
my
is an amazing football player. All right, George Kittle is awesome. And they're actually good friends too, by the way. But I don't know how you can watch and not think that Kelce. Maybe you want to we can have the Gronk conversation. I think Kelce's still the best tight end in the last 25 years. But I
think there's a reasonable conversation to have with Gronk.
Yeah, I will understand that convo, especially with the success in the Super Bowls and everything to go with it that Kelce also has. But I don't get how Kelce would be the third best tight end grade wise of the last 25 years.
Who's your guess at running back, by the way?
Hold on, 25 years.
The runner-up surprised me too.
Okay.
Because there's been so many great running backs, obviously.
Yeah, I think Derrick Henry's got to be on this list.
He's first.
Okay.
Who do you think would be second, Drew?
Ooh.
If it wasn't Derrick Henry, who are you guessing? Last 25 years?
I've
I
already
would
seen
have
the
guessed.
list, so
I'll just
I'm
tell you.
not-
Okay.
I've already
I
seen
have
it.
that.
I'm not
I would have
guessing.
guessed Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
That was
I'm
my
thinking
thought he'd be on
the
there.
two names that come to mind immediately are Christian McCaffrey
I would have guessed him.
or
too.
oh my gosh. He didn't play long enough. It can't be. I'll go. There's no way. I'll go Marshawn Lynch.
That's second.
Really?
And so
Really?
Marshawn, yeah.
I was
he
about
would
to say
be
Todd
on
Gurley,
there.
and I'm like, he didn't play long enough.
Calvin Johnson was the honorable mention wide receiver, by the way.
Okay.
For what it's worth. But no, I was trying to think about it, and I actually, in a weird way, this makes me feel better about what the Chiefs have accomplished, not worse. Because it's easy to just be like, stupid Pro Football Focus and their numbers and not knowing anything about the league and not having any, like, it'd be easy to, like, do the Kansas City Sports Talk Radio in which you're like, they just hate people. For what it's worth, Chris Jones was second to J.J. Watt. He was also honorable mention.
I mean, that's fair.
For
I
interior
think that's
defensive
fair.
line.
That's a hell of a competition you're dealing with.
He was
in that
ahead of Aaron
position.
Donald.
Yeah.
That's interior defensive lineman, and they had him ahead of Aaron Donald. in
And
this.
understandably so, if I was an Aaron Donald supporter, I'd say, whoa.
I mean, back way the hell up. Yeah, sure.
Who wants to know who the top kicker is? Did Butker make that list, or was that Adam
gotta be Justin
Vinatieri
It wasn't him
or
either.
Justin Tucker?
Wasn't any of them.
It wasn't
Matt
Tucker.
Prater.
What?
I don't know. What to tell you, man.
That one I think is the most egregious. Actually,
They kicked
out of all the
Tucker off the
positions.
By
list
the way,
because of
no
what's going
offense.
on?
That's the most egregious.
This to me, I have a real. I got to be honest. I have a real problem with the idea of grading kickers because if you,
It's just as
if
simple
you,
as you're making the kicks.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only job. If you're telling me I shaved points because he was right as center, listen here, dum-dum. It doesn't matter. Did he put the ball in the uprights is the only grade.
Yeah.
Accuracy
Yeah. Did you make
is
the damn kick?
legitimately what were you grading? His plant foot? Shut up. That's where I would argue. That's the dumbest thing to grade.
And
At
Matt
least
Prater-
punter you could grade. There's a little subjectivity
you guys
to
could
it.
guess the punter, I bet.
Matt Prater has also been very, very good. But Tucker or Butker or Vinatieri should have all been ahead of Matt Prater.
I'm
for
sure
the
you
best
guys can
kicker
Prater's one
ever.
of just 3 kickers in Pro Football Focus era with at least 80 field goals attempts of less than 30 yards who never missed a kick from that range. He's the only kicker to fit that cohort with at least 90% accuracy from 30 to 39 and at least 75% accuracy from 40 to 49 and 50 plus.
All right, wow.
I'm not saying Matt Prater's not a really good kicker. He didn't have a hell of a career. We just, like, sometimes the thing about Pro Football Focus is you don't have to be insane about it. Sometimes we can just be reasonable people.
But grading can be very subjective, as we found out in a lot of things. You grade. You
I'm
know,
not kidding.
you grade your you grade your students' work. You're subjective.
It's true.
It's
true. I am subjective in how I grade these
Cards
podcasts.
get graded all the time, and you can strongly disagree with the grades that may or may not get.
Draft
this is how this
classes
works.
Get graded,
Yeah.
you know?
Grading can be subjective. That
Very
is
much.
true.
Very.
But I guess this is always the issue with, and I'm not kidding, with a different sports talk person in this town, I got in a serious fight about whether Pro Football Focus grades are subjective. I use that term. They took great offense.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a methodology. I'm like, yeah, but they have to decide if that person won the rep, thus making it subjective. It's not black and white. There's no black and white in giving somebody a grade for, I thought they threw that pass well. It's objectively subjective, in my opinion. Doesn't really matter. But like with kicker, what are we doing? That's just about how many times. I don't care how many times you hit an upright, it went slightly right. Who made the most kicks? Just give me the highest percentage guy. That's the best kicker.
Also, big kicks.
Especially,
I mean, if we're talking about
I
subjective.
don't want everybody who's great from 40 in. I want the guy who can also make me 52 because the best kickers are the ones who can drive from deep.
Well, I mean, just in general too. Like, how many big kicks in Matt Prater's life has he made? In terms of like, you get to go to a title game because of this. You get to, you know. I think that also should be part of the subjectiveness of this list. Of the grading.
I took it as
the grading.
Again, I weirdly took this as a compliment for the Chiefs.
Clutch kicks or something.
Because I do actually think when you go back and you look at this, the dynasty run from the Chiefs, it's kind of, I think, maybe a smaller handful of Hall of Famers compared to some of those other elite teams of the last 25 years. When you start going through and you're like, all right, who are those elite teams in the last 25 years? And you start thinking, I mean, across the board, the Patriots obviously being a portion of that, they got 2-3 guys sprinkled throughout this list, right? They got multiple guys floating through there. Then you start thinking about like, all right, what are the Seahawks team that went on a run? They got a couple of guys on there. The Ravens team that would have been included on the one that had the all-time great defense. They got a couple of guys in this list. The Chiefs have one. And then some just honorable mentions, right? Here or there, there's a couple of guys who managed to sneak into the list. But it's not much, man. They're not, they didn't have a Pro Bowl or an all-pro safety floating through there all those years. They had Tyrann Mathieu, really good player. He didn't make this list, right? It's kind of an interesting way to view it when you're talking about 25 years. I guess really the Chiefs are only going to have, of their position, who are the guys that they have that will be top 3 considered in their position when they retire?
Top 3 in football history or just
football history? Because I think about the Patriots.
Mahomes
and Kelsey.
And Kelsey, that's going to be it. That's going to be it. It's just, you think about the competition you're dealing with for something like
any other spot.
Chris Jones is awesome, but he's not going to go down as the 3rd best
he's
defensive
not.
tackle in NFL history. No, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Tom Brady had him and Gronk, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's another player on their list. Dynasties do it without these elite level players. Like Tyreek Hill's not going to go down as one of the 5 best wide receivers, 10 best wide
Ever?
receivers.
No.
Ever. But it's important to kind of look through those things and I don't know, take a little perspective sometimes. I was surprised it wasn't Jason Kelsey, by the way.
Yeah.
At center. It was Nick Mangold.
Oh, he had a hell of a career,
he
too.
was really good.
Yeah.
He was like Joe Thomas, though, stuck on a bad team. Because Mangold was on the Jets. I mean, they had the butt fumble stuff where they made it to the playoffs at least a little bit, but
yeah,
I mean, he never made it to a Super Bowl.
Man, he was a part of that. He's the butt fumble guy. At least he's not the embarrassing end. All he was doing was standing there. He's just doing his job.
Yeah, Mark Sanchez. Thank you very much.
He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong, so we're fine.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll get back to the Royals. Hunter Renfroe DFA'd by the Royals today. Nick Lofton called up from AAA Omaha. Josh Vernier is going to join us, our Royals insider. We'll get his perspective on that decision by the Royals today and what that could mean for other potential moves on the horizon for the Royals organization. But while we're still talking Chiefs football during the Chiefs Red Half Hour, James Palmer was on with Kay Adams talking about Patrick Mahomes and seeing these other quarterbacks get deals. Most recently was Brock Purdy, and with that, it means Mahomes, from an average salary per year standpoint, goes down the list a little bit. So could we see an extension soon?
I think Patrick, like I mentioned, the comparison to Brady, the amount of money they make off the field, they put into account and what they do in terms of hamstringing a team on the field in terms of salary cap. I would say we know this contract is so unique compared to every other deal in the NFL with the length of it, with the terms. I'll say this, Kay, like the relationship between Patrick and the front office and the constant communication of like, are you happy? Are you good where you're at? Is very, very good. And he will always be compensated accordingly. But I do know that he thinks of things a little bit differently. I think he'll be completely fine with what's to come.
I guess a lot of this is how lucky are you that you actually got the quarterback who's not going to scratch for every dime. But I also think that there's, in a weird way, Gold, he's fortunate to be able to be that quarterback because his off-season earning potential, let's say that of Brock Purdy, who just signed a contract, is what? Tenfold? Like, how much more will Patrick Mahomes make in endorsements over the next 10 years than Brock Purdy will? 10 times as much?
Is
How
Brock
much?
even in a commercial?
I don't know. Maybe some Asics commercial or something. You know, I don't know. He's probably got some deal. That just feels like a
Asics.
like it's got. I was thinking like a lower shoe brand.
Or like the Skechers. Yeah, the
Like Tony
Skechers.
Romo.
Skechers shape ups or something. Yeah, sure, fine. Brock Purdy might be getting that deal, but he's not getting Doritos. He's not getting the massive local deals. Patrick Mahomes is the most marketable quarterback in the league. You can take a more team-friendly structured contract than any quarterback in the league.
Well,
just
you can
can't.
also do it
He also cares
because
about winning.
it also takes the organization being willing to have that kind of years on the deal too. Like, you know what I mean? Like we always talk about it as the players side of it, and it's
The
an,
risk part.
it's an easy decision to do with Mahomes. You're not worried about 8 or 10 years and what he's going to be. But like Brock Purdy, the Niners would, even if you wanted to give him flexibility, the Niners were never signing him to a 10-year deal because there's still some questions about what he might end up being long-term in this league. So Mahomes is willing to be flexible, yes, no doubt, allowing them to build a team around him. He has talked so much about how he recognizes legacy, wants to make sure they keep having a winning talent around him so he can keep winning rings as well. But it also requires your organization being willing to sign you to a 10-year deal, to have the cash on hand, all that stuff that goes into have the ownership that's willing and able to do that kind of stuff. It sounds so simple. Like anybody would have done it for 10 years. Sure, but there's still some challenges. We ran into this with the Raiders many years ago with the Khalil Mack thing, right? There was reports that they didn't have enough cash on hand maybe to get his extension done. That was maybe one of the reasons they were willing to trade him to Chicago. Or do I have that backwards? Yeah, no, that was it. Yeah. So,
Isn't it nice, though, that in the report he said, you know, he's like Tom Brady in the fact that he's got a good relationship with the team. It's nice to, I'm sure it's nice to, as Chiefs fans for you guys to root for a team that has a good relationship
well, because
with its
Patrick
players,
Mahomes recognizes that it's okay to spend money on defense, you know, and it's okay to build
Oh,
you
no,
know, a
it's not
roster
even-
around him.
that-
It's
that wasn't even about Joe Burrow. That was about Trey Hendrickson.
He didn't want to advocate just to pay Travis Kelce and just to pay Tyreek Hill. He said, "Look, I get it. You guys, we can't afford Tyreek Hill. We need to make sure we can, you know, have some draft picks and build this defense up and go get guys for our offensive line and all this. And I can still win rings." Sounds like a plan, whereas I don't think Joe Burrow and the Bengals understand that, Drew.
Mahomes is good at being the 8th best ranked quarterback according to Pro Football Focus.
I
you
will
know,
say,
to
learn
get to a
the
Super
lesson.
Bowl.
Unless for some reason you've drafted Steve Young behind it, do not. If he still wants to play, Patrick Mahomes is your starting quarterback. Do not make the Tom Brady mistake. Don't let him go sit around.
Well, you also always choose the
in
quarterback over
some-
the coach later in the
Yeah,
in
don't
the career,
let
too.
him sit around and don't make me watch Patrick Mahomes 12 years from now in a Bucks uniform trying to win a Super Bowl with another team, because he might do it just to spite you. He might do it. Give him a lifetime contract. Do whatever you got to do, because like the one time the 49ers did it with Montana, they don't look all that dumb. They had a future Hall of Famer behind him. And I would say in the Packers case, when they let Brett Favre walk, they had a different future Hall of Famer. So unless you got a future Hall of Famer behind him, and even then, I'd lean towards if you have one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, maybe just let that guy ride off into the sunset. Like, part of me is like, I'm stuck on that. Like, if you got one of the 5 great, why did they ever let Tom Brady put on another uniform? That's crazy.
I think part of it depends on the coach.
Crazy.
It's not like because the Patriots are going to be different than the Chiefs are going to be, because Andy Reid's not going to be coaching Mahomes at the end of Mahomes' career. You know, it's going to be somebody else. Or does that coach say, "Look, Mahomes is on his"?
Whoever that guy is, he's got no clout over Mahomes.
I know. I'm just saying, but if you're the head coach and you're winning still, and you're like, "Look, man, we need to find a way to keep this thing going when Mahomes is done. We need to get somebody else to bring him in," or they want to move on.
No, I'm not listening to that guy. That guy can kick rocks.
Do you stick with the head coach or do you stick with the quarterback?
I'm choosing the quarterback. I'm choosing the quarterback always in this spot, especially as Cody said, at that point in time, there's no way anybody will be at even Andy Reid. Like nobody will be at Andy Reid's level to where you can say, okay, no, there's a decision being made. Like there's whoever the replacement is will never even will not be at the level of where you're already at with your coach now. So there's
as crazy as it sounds, though, history repeats itself. And it happened to Joe Montana, it happened to Tom Brady, it happened to Peyton Manning.
Oh, we're not.
I mean, it was Bill Walsh.
No, we're saying
we're
saying they should choose him. I'm not arguing that teams have not made the mistake and chosen the.
I'm just saying that based on history, I know it's not with the Chiefs, but you would think that.
But I got way more examples of guys who just played the rest of their career.
I know, but I think it's more likely that Mahomes does not, based on everything. If Mahomes is 42 and he's playing still, and he wants to keep playing as a Chief, I think based on history, the Chiefs will move on from Mahomes at 42, then keep Mahomes at 42.
It depends. Is Patrick Mahomes based on how things have gone? Does Patrick Mahomes love his head coach? Is he still playing great football?
I think.
Is there the other scenario? Have the Chiefs had a year in which Mahomes just got hurt, so they have a top 5 pick when he's entering his 42-year-old season? They think there's a future
Andrew
star.
Luck year, yeah.
There's those scenarios, yes. But I think if you tell me that they just lost in the Super Bowl and he's 41 and he's going into his 40, be 42 years old, he's still playing well, he's healthy, him and his coach, whoever that is, down in that point, are fine in their relationship, then no, I don't think they'd move on.
There's
a
lot of different factors, of course.
Yeah, there's just so much we don't know 10 years from now. Yeah. Because I don't think the Colts ever move on from Peyton Manning.
50-year-old Sean McVay. I'll take that head coach. How old is he now?
50? That'd be way too old. That's like 15 years from now.
No, he's 39. So I'll take 48-year-old Sean 47-year-old, 46-year-old. Actually, Andy, let's say he gets 5 more years. How about 45-year-old, 44-year-old Sean McVay?
I don't think the Colts would have ever moved on from Peyton Manning had he not gotten hurt. They had the number 1 overall pick in a year. Not just that, Drew.
They were tanking.
In a year when everyone agreed that the top quarterback in the draft was a can't-miss guy. It's like they didn't have a choice.
And I know that you're on record saying you don't think teams tank, Cody. That is the one example of team. They played.
For luck.
They played Kerry Collins at 38 years old, and they played Curtis Painter, neither of who were
what was their backup
after
plan?
that.
Peyton Manning had started like 16 games a year for like 12 years straight. They weren't supposed to have a backup quarterbacks.
Yeah.
To me, that's not tanking. Just you had no choice. Your starting quarterback got hurt for the year. Every team's going to suck in that scenario.
They were that bad, though, where I don't
She's got to roll out Gardner Minshew. It's not going to go great.
They were worse than Will Levis, which is hard to do.
I don't know, man.
38-year-old he had a veteran. He was playing at 38 because he at least was stable enough to have a career that allowed him to still play when he's 38. Well, he would have been out of the league if Will Levis is pacing to be out of the league in a couple years. Kerry Collins made it in the league for 10+ years.
Yeah, I was about to say Kerry Collins' career is looking probably longer than that, right? I mean, he played till he was 38.
Kerry Collins, he was in the longer.
17 years in the league. You're comparing him to Will Levis?
Disrespect.
That is disrespect.
Disrespect for Kerry Collins.
I'm just saying, when he played for the Colts, he sucked. And then Curtis Painter came in and he was worse.
Nobody's saying he was great, but you got to be in the league for 17 years, you're not trash. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not saying his career is terrible. I'm saying for the Colts that year, he was off
7.
No, I'm saying they tanked because they rolled him out. They rolled him out when they didn't have to. They could have picked anybody off the street and it would have been better than the 2 that they played. They tanked for Andrew.
I think there was some element. Quarterback-wise, I don't know if that's true, though. I mean, I have to go back and look who was the other quarterback options that year. I mean, we run into that every year like this year. There's teams where, like,
2011?
The Browns drafted Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, but, like, Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett are still their 2 options. The Browns aren't tanking this year. They might suck, but they're not tanking.
They were tanking last year.
And before they drafted Gabriel and Sanders, Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett are their plan at quarterback. So, I mean, are they tanking? No, they just suck.
Do we know the year that this happened? Was it 2010 or 2011?
Oh, for luck?
Yes.
Yeah, we can look during the break. We got to get to a break.
There had to have been somebody else who was better than the guys that they rolled out.
We'll let you do some digging on that. Up next, we'll get to what's trending, and then we'll talk more about Hunter Renfrow being designated for assignment by the Royals as Josh Vernier, our Royals insider, joins us.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Go yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. You can take a swing at making those entries over at Underdog, and because they're one of the leading places to make all your sports selections, you can play in your state. You can watch baseball tonight from your couch on the Missouri side all holiday weekend down at the lake and make those selections over at Underdog because they're the fastest growing sports games app, one of the fastest growing sports games apps that you can play on the Missouri side. NBA action tonight too if you want, right? Little Knicks Pacers, and you're like, well, how do I play? Download the app, super easy. Choose which players will go higher than the stats. Points, assists, rebounds, mix and match sports. So home runs, strikeouts, total bases, all of those available over at Underdog. And you can play with as little as $1 and win up to 1,000 times your money over at Underdog. Download the Underdog app today. Sign up using promo code TAPP, TAPP, to unlock a special offer for up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TAPP, TAPP. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
We're talking with Dr. David Bach, board-certified urologist at Kansas City Urology Care. What's the most important thing men should know about prostate cancer?
I would strongly recommend PSA testing. It's a simple blood test. It's inexpensive, and basically every male over 50 should be having this PSA once a year. Prostate cancer is the second leading cancer killer of men.
And why should they go to KCUC?
We not only treat more prostate cancer than anyone else in this part of the country, we also start with cutting-edge diagnostics who offer the most precise diagnoses of prostate cancer using ultrasounds and MRI. We can offer surgical, medical, and radiation types of treatments. And even for men who require additional therapies, we're able to offer all that at a single site.
Get your PSA level tested by the experts. Kansas City Urology Care. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. To make an appointment, visit appointments.kcuc.com.
I'm McCall from Lee Summit Subaru, and we're committed to helping our community through the Subaru Love Promise, like our commitment to Hillcrest Transitional Housing to help solve homelessness. Lee Summit Subaru also sponsors several pet adoption clinics like Midwest Animal Rescue and events each year such as Dogtoberfest. It's all part of the Subaru Love Promise, and we're committed to helping our community fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. LeeSummitSubaru.com.
In 1950, my great-grandpa started Gunter Pest Control, and 75 years later, we're still Kansas City's highest-rated team of local experts. With decades of experience, our team has perfected the treatment plan to keep your home free from bugs, rodents, and termites. Gunter protects your home, but also the environment. Our treatments are safe for pets and kids, and our electric service vehicles are charged in our solar-powered garage. Go Gunter, go green.
For over 8 years, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain, with over 50,000 satisfied patients. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free. Shoulder and hip pain gone. What they're doing is nothing short of remarkable. They're using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissue in their achy joints. They're using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties, carefully and strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life. The best part, with QC Kinetics, there are no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. It's an all-natural cellular level option with lasting relief. Imagine doing all the things you enjoy this summer without being slowed down by that awful joint pain in your knees or your back. Call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. It's QC Kinetics.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC, used with permission.
Hang out with Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
What's Trending is presented by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu. The news of the day on the Royals front, they have announced they have designated Hunter Renfroe for assignment. They have called up Nick Lofton. We're going to talk more about this big move for the Royals, one that I think most people expected to happen at some point in time. We'll talk more about that after What's Trending with Josh Vernier, our Royals insider.
Obviously, they got the Twins tonight. Vern will be on pregame starting at 6 o'clock. What time's that game tonight?
I think that's right.
Okay.
I think so.
Sometime tonight on your home for the Royals, 96.5 The Fan. Next up on What's Trending, the Thunder get game 2 in a blowout win against the Timberwolves. That series is not looking good for the Wolves early on. They'll have to find some way to get back in the series with the Thunder. Game 2 tonight, Knicks and Pacers. Obviously, that thing ending in overtime a couple of days ago with the Tyrese Halliburton shot to send it to overtime and then the eventual win. Really looking forward to the game tonight, Gold. You going to go somewhere to watch it? Go to the bar?
No plans
You
yet
watch this one
tonight.
at home?
No plans yet tonight. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight.
Kind of feel like I want to go watch this out in the real world, you know?
In the real world. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not sure. It's the holiday weekend, so I'm not sure. No plans tonight. I got something on Sunday, but other than that, the weather's not going to be good enough for a pool, just chilling. Otherwise, this would have been a Friday. After the show, I would have gone straight to the pool.
Just sat outside, cracked a high noon.
And today's not terrible, but the rest of the week, today maybe I guess you could. But the rest of the weekend, that's a no-go. So I don't know.
It's tough because the high's only 71 today.
You're not going in the water. You're just chilling by the pool to have it. That would be the only thing you could do. Next up on What's Trending, NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are going on. Edmonton Oilers, Dallas Stars tonight. This is Game 2. Dallas up 1-0 in that series. The other series has Florida up 0 in the Carolina Hurricanes, 2-0.
Next up on What's Trending, college pro soccer. The KC Current will go at 6:30 tomorrow against the Chicago Stars this weekend, and Sporting KC will take on the New England Revolution tomorrow at 7:30.
That is What's Trending. Quick one today. So we want to get right into the Royals conversation with Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. As you said, his On Deck show tonight, 6 o'clock, 7:10 first pitch. Noah Cameron on the bump. We'll get to this weekend in a second, Vern, but obviously the news of the day, I don't think it's surprising. Maybe you didn't think today was the day, but overall, at some point, I think we expected Hunter Renfroe to be DFA'd the way things were trending. Your reaction to the news?
Yeah, you don't want to say that you're happy to see it, but I'm happy to see it.
Yeah.
You know, it was something that we all knew was eventually going to happen. So, why not today? Although you dive into that 40-man roster, and Royals need some help. You know, obviously we know they need some help in the lineup at the big league level, despite that offensive breakout against Logan Webb and the Giants. But I look at the outfielders right now on this 40-man roster, from Tyler Gentry, Joey Weimer, MJ Melendez. None of them are doing anything that gets you excited about an impact that they could make at the big league level. I know Nick Lofton gets the call up, but with Lofton, the way that I'm looking at him is, all right, dude, here's your opportunity. You know, we're going to give you a chance. Now, I don't think we're going to see a lot of Nick Lofton. I'm hoping we're not going to see a lot of Nick Lofton, but we need to identify, is he a big leaguer? And if not, he too needs to be bumped off that 40-man roster. Maybe not right now, but coming up this offseason. Again, the Jack Caglione conversation is fun to have, but this was something that was necessary, and yet it doesn't mean that anything is going to be unlocked at the big league level. It was more of we knew it was going to eventually happen, and we're happy that it happened today.
Couldn't it be, at least for Nick Lofton, the dream scenarios that what happened with Drew Waters, right? Like, oh, we get the hey, we've seen this before, and maybe the story's been told, but the advanced metrics are better, right? He's hitting the ball a little harder, he's getting on base more, his whiff rate's down, all the normal stuff, right? And you're like, maybe we can get the little Drew Waters jump up or Kyle Isbell's jump up this year, right? And maybe in a part-time move-around role, he's a more effective player this time around.
Possibly. I'm yet to see really any power at the big league level. You know, Drew Waters at least has teased us before, whether it was 2023 or even brief snippets in 2024. Drew Waters once made me excited. I've never really been that fired up about Nick Lofton's impact on a daily basis at the big league level. Fine young man, nice bat to ball skills. But I'm looking at what Drew Waters is doing this season, hitting .303 against righties, and you put that alongside what Mark Canha's doing, hitting .355 against lefties. You feel good now about one of the corner spots. Kyle Isbell's been on a tear for a month, hitting .356 in OPS north of 900. You feel good about your everyday starting center fielder. It's just that one spot in the outfield and then that one other spot in the lineup that if this team can get it shored up, there's no reason why they can't win this division. Yeah,
for me today is kind of what you said about Nick Lofton. I view it as just kind of a patch for now until either there's another move from the minors or there's a trade in a month or two. It's more about Hunter Renfroe now being the second opening day outfielder to not be on the big league roster anymore and bringing. I understand the offseason was the offseason, but it obviously highlights what was a clear miscalculation, I think, at both left field and right field in the offseason. They went to have both your starting outfielders in the corners not on the big league roster by Memorial Day weekend is obviously not what you're looking for.
Two guys that he came into the season questioning, right, as a fan, as a media member, and I think you guys have done a nice job of maintaining patience through the first 51 games, never getting all that concerned with MJ, with Renfroe, because, in my opinion, this front office has now earned your trust and your patience, that they're not going to sit on their hands and do what we've heard others do over the past decade and maintain belief in the guy that they drafted and developed, maintain belief in the guy that they gave a 2-year contract to. Look, in a season where the division title was the expectation inside the clubhouse, where October is the demand from everyone, top to bottom, there was no reason to believe that this thing was going to drag the team down. Again, they have one of the best records in the American League, so there was never a reason to panic over the first month and a half, and here we are, not even a third of the way through the season, and they've acknowledged that two guys that they hoped would be key contributors, and let's be honest, they needed to be key contributors, have not been, and they've adjusted accordingly. Now the next move would be go out and find a replacement, find an improvement for the 40-man roster. Of course you want an improvement at the big league level, but I don't know if that's available. For as bad as Hunter Renfroe was really throughout his contract, the clear replacement just played his, third game at AAA. So you need to find someone else to allow that clear replacement at least another month, 2 months down in Omaha. So maybe, listen, I'm not saying a big name type of trade, but a waiver acquisition, someone that you like that's buried in another organization's AAA farm club. You need to do something. You need to give yourself a little bit more depth, not only defensively, but you look at the injuries at AAA and the big league level pitching-wise. You need to find some arms, too.
If it were you, would you have done Rave instead?
No, again, listen, I'm fine either way. Again, go for it.
You're not
but
like
to me,
moved to be like, it should have been Rave. That's
no, he's hitting fine. Again, you take all these AAA numbers with a grain of salt. But again, with Nick Lofton, I need to know, is this a big league player or is this someone that we can erase in our 2026-27 big league outlook? Because so far, Nick Lofton looks like a quality bat-to-ball hitter, but a 4A player. And the onus is now on him to prove me wrong, maybe prove the organization wrong, prove somebody wrong, prove that he belongs to stay. And if not, again, the options right now on the 40-man roster, even if you want to put a Cam Devaney, a John Rave on there, these are not, in my opinion, and Drew Waters hasn't been a game changer for the offense because the offense is still mired in the bottom third of all of Major League Baseball. So the type of impact bat this team needs to make anyone feel different about this offense, they're either already at the big league level or they're Jack Caglione, or they're outside the organization.
Real quick, thinking of Cags, we had JJ Piccolo earlier in the week. We asked you about his comp, obviously, to Pete Alonso a little bit. We had Jim Callis from MLB Pipeline on yesterday saying, well, I think he's better than Pete Alonso, and said he's a bigger Shohei Ohtani. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Every time someone mentions it to me, it makes me smile. And, yeah, listen, it makes sense. It makes sense why Dusty's so horny for Jack. I'm not, because I'm an adult, but it makes sense why Dusty.
Hey.
I mean, we're all you guys are all lifelong Royals fans. I get it, Dusty.
It's hard not to be impressed by Jack Caglione.
We've got your CAG shirt here in the building.
We've got your CAG
Nice.
shirt. Dusty and I are driving to Omaha next Friday and Saturday to watch him play, so we're all in.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Are we taking the people along with us? Or,
This will be
going as a civilian.
Yeah, this will be as a United States citizen, unaffiliated with 96.5 The Fan. I'm going to Omaha.
Well, make sure if Dusty shows up that you bring a hose with you.
Thank you, Vern.
Might have to hose him down.
There you go. Josh Vernier, our Royals insider, kind enough to give us a call. Yeah, kind enough to give us a call with the breaking news of the day on the Royals front that Hunter Renfroe has been designated for assignment.
I mean, it just makes sense. It's a little
we all knew it was going to happen.
Like, I knew this was going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
This is not like a stunning and they're like, what?
Right.
They DFA'd Hunter Renfroe? It's just a little earlier than I thought it was going to be, but I think a lot of that speaks to what we said earlier in the show, Gold. This is a big series. I know it's early in the season, but by the time this series is done, as Jake Eisenberg had pointed out, and we talked about earlier in the show, there'll be 54 games for the season. A full third of the way, which is a long baseball season, admittedly, but a full third of the way through the season. And with a little over 100 games left to go after this, you don't, in an offense that is already struggling, want to keep dragging yourself across the finish line. But let's all just be honest here. Nick Lofton is keeping the grass warm.
Yeah, it's a patch.
For Jack Caglione.
Or
their eventual solution, I believe, is Jack Caglione or another trade.
Yeah, I mean, it's a patch. It's either Cags or I think it's more, possibly sooner could be an external candidate from outside the organization. As Vern said, it doesn't mean it's going to be a splash. It could just be somebody else in the mix a little bit. It is still more just about the necessity to move on from Hunter Renfroe. I mean, he wasn't even playing that much here as of late to begin with. So it was time to move on, get that cleared up. And as Vern said, well, find out if Nick Lofton's got something. I'm very cautious on that being the case. To me, it's just a temporary thing. And it says more about the unfortunate failure to address left field and right field in the correct way to head in the season. And now you've got it. What's great, though, now you got a chance to go fix it still, either with Cags getting called up or finding an option outside the organization, most likely. Like as much as people want John Rave, I would view him as a patch as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 27-year-old outfielder in AAA. So typically I would view those guys. Look, every once in a while, Whit Merrifields find your way through the system. And you find a guy at 26 years old who becomes an everyday big leaguer for 5 or 6 years. That's rare and probably uncommon. Same as Devaney, right? They've got guys in AAA who are hitting really well. But the same problem exists there, as Vern pointed out. Those AAA numbers, man. You got to be careful when evaluating those for the Royals. Between what Jake said and the wind and all this other stuff, it's a hitter's park. A lot of times those guys' numbers, for the same as the pitching, take those with a grain of salt too. Like if you're pitching really well there, that probably says something. But if it's outside of that, you don't know.
True.
We have
It
mentioned.
makes sense why Dusty's so horny for Jack.
Yeah, it does make sense.
You can
Good
actually,
point.
if you want to just cut that and leave off the for Jack part and the laugh and just add, it makes sense why Dusty's so horny as the drop.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and clean that
We
one
can
up.
have
Yeah.
both.
Mhm.
We don't even need just the other side of it. We can definitely
Yeah.
have both of those in the system.
Mhm.
This show has paid very close attention, as most people should be, in my opinion. The Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson story. No, I'd love to give our show credit. No person on the planet has done a better job covering it than Pablo Torre, who does his podcast, Pablo Torre Finds Out. I caught the episode yesterday, which the guest who you'll hear in this clip, Katie Nolan, and him break down an interview, and I'm not kidding, he got an interview with the Airbnb hosts from the original topless Bill Belichick photo that took place as he was leaving the Airbnb. And I got to be honest, this is one of the most fascinating interview clips I've heard in a while. Please enjoy this. Pablo Torre explaining to them first. You'll hear the interview with the people, and then you'll hear Katie Nolan.
As a new host, as you've now learned through her experience with me, she's very friendly. And she offered the same courtesy to Jordan Hudson.
As a new host, I tried to make it a point to meet people, and I couldn't meet her right when she arrived. So I came in and I'd come off the golf course, and we were just chatting about different things. And that's when she said that she wanted to know how far Danvers was. And I was like, oh, are you getting married? She's like, no, I compete in pageants. And I said, well, we're members at the golf course. You should come and play with us. My friends have clubs they can lend you.
She said she played. That's
Yeah, she said she played, and she also said she prefers the men's senior shaft. So I just sort of didn't really think much about that until later.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Am I Team Jordan? Wait a second.
This is a golf term I have learned.
I mean, a men's senior
No.
shaft. Now, may I ask, because I just like to ruin your day.
Yeah.
This is, at this point, does this woman know, at the point that Jordan is saying that she prefers a men's senior, does she know that her guest with her there is Bill Belichick?
I am so glad you asked that question.
Yes, finally.
We saw the ring video in the morning, not knowing who this was, but it was an older gentleman with a very young woman who checked in the night before, and a car parked up where it said no parking was like worrisome to us that this is going to shut us down. We need to make sure that they know
Can I tell 'em?
registered guests cannot.
She said, she's like, she's with this creepy old guy. It's either her relative or a drug dealer. It was the first thing because of the age discrepancy. Remember, you go, must be
Yes.
a freaking coke dealer. I was like, what?
It
Come
was
on.
crazy.
So that was her first reaction. And then I started looking. I'm like, that does look like Belichick. And then I saw the walk and the hunch he had, because they were doing OTAs, so he had the farmer's tan going.
So, oh my goodness.
What an interview.
So they interviewed. So
electric.
He tracked down the Airbnb owners. You heard the interview at the end.
Fantastic
Is
reporting.
Very good reporting. Yeah. Drew, you golf, so you're the perfect person to ask.
Is
She prefers the men's senior shaft.
At what point does that become a golfer's preference, Drew? Is that have you considered using one or no?
No, well, to my knowledge, there's only two shafts. It's the regular and the stiff. You get a regular shaft.
Now which
Or a stiff
now
shaft.
which shaft do you prefer when you golf?
I prefer the regular shaft.
Oh, not the stiff one.
No.
Gotcha. But have you played with one?
I've played with stiff shafts. It's not that great.
What? Just don't answer his question.
You don't have to answer
Walking
every question.
into this
You
thing.
don't have to answer every question, Mike. Keep going if you want. Yeah. Thank you, Drew. Thank you.
We're talking about
can't
golf
believe-
clubs and regular shafts versus
And yeah,
stiff
on
shafts.
this show, you would be the shaft expert. That's why I'm
Correct.
asking you.
I play the most
Yes.
golf. I use a regular shaft.
Okay. Seems like it could be problematic.
I don't think I'll
depending-
ever use a stiff shaft.
I wouldn't say that. You never know. Men, when you get to be a senior, maybe,
You like golfing. You
I
want to
love
golf
golf.
when you're older, right?
Yes, but I'm going to still use my regular.
You might not have a choice.
Making that joke in that situation, that's very early in the relationship. That's
Mhm.
woo.
Yeah.
And then this guy's like, I don't know, man. I thought it was just like a relative or a Coke dealer. You're like, that was quite a leap. Those two things are dramatically different. Also, Bill, can't even follow the rules when it doesn't come to football, huh? Breaking the rules across. It says no parking. You know?
think Bill
Says no
cares about
parking,
that?
Bill.
I'm
He doesn't
Bill
care.
Belichick.
He doesn't care.
I'm Bill Belichick.
Write me a
That's what he
ticket
Can't
is
follow
what
the
he's
rules,
saying.
man. Filming people's practices, parking wherever the hell he wants. Can't follow the rules. Doesn't think the rules apply to him, you know? I think it's important to note. Honestly, some part of that, like, you should get, I would request, after the show's over, clearly, because you until 2 o'clock, you don't want to go anywhere. But eventually, listening to the entire podcast is absolutely worth it. That episode, like that interview with them, you're like, first, I'm not really sure what the privacy rules are at Airbnb. Should you be divulging this amount about people who stayed at yours? I'm sure other people do Airbnb content.
Yeah, I am surprised that like now if you knew these people were renting out the same Airbnb or other ones, yeah, you don't.
You're gonna spill all my dirt?
Share their business. Yeah.
Like, or because I'm not famous, I don't have to. I don't have to worry about you sharing my dirt. I'd like to keep that stuff there. Man, all right. Well, you know, I thought it was worth playing.
She prefers a men's senior shaft.
That's. What's your expiration date on this thing? You think that
on their relationship or that he's coaching at North Carolina?
Multiple questions. I want an expiration date on their relationship, the amount of time he's at North Carolina, and then I want you to tell me whether or not you think they get married.
Hang on a second. If her preference is what it is, and
Her preference is what it is.
If her preference is what it is, I don't know if this has an expiration date, Cody.
You don't think there's some other old rich guy? Okay. All right. Fair enough.
According to reports,
they're in love, is what you're trying to tell me, Drew. They're in love.
Evidently so.
Okay.
I mean, you know what? I've kind of backed off the whole thing. This is ridiculous and all this. I don't know. I might be convinced now.
So you think he's coaching week 1, and you think they are actually going to get engaged? Because the rumors are already engaged.
Yes, I agree with all of it. I'm not saying it's going to be successful, but I think that that actually is going to happen. I'd lean more on that side.
So you don't think it has a long shelf life?
In terms of their marriage or him coaching at North Carolina?
Fair enough. Both.
His marriage. I mean, he's pretty old. They don't have to. I'm just saying,
are you
15 years max? What are they gonna make it in this thing?
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah, old people don't die. That's what we're here to say now in this show. How old's Bill Belichick? He's like 75, right? He's already at average life expectancy.
73.
So you're saying more likely than not.
More likely than not, he'll be dead in 15 years. Yes.
Well, do you think that his coaching career lasts longer than their marriage does? Like, how long do you think he coaches for?
That I can't figure out. I can't believe he
5
wants
years
to coach
or less.
now.
Even if he coaches this year, it's 5 or less.
I agree.
I don't think he's coaching on the side when he's 80. 79 years old.
I am fascinated to see. I think it'll be really interesting. We're going to have to mark this day and look back at it May 23rd of 2026 and just see.
Oh, we will mark this day for sure. Thanks to you.
And just see what all has happened over the course of the year if he actually does coach, how does it go? There's going to be more to this story because Pablo Torre is not letting up in regards to his reporting on this, which kudos to him.
Yeah, he's done a great job.
Out of everybody, Pablo's the guy that's trying to break the news. He's getting told no from North Carolina. She is allowed, and he's still going after the story. So
I love that they keep digging. I need somebody.
I like it too, yeah.
I need somebody with a larger research department than we have here at 96.5 The Fan to keep digging. I can't make Drew do 10 hours worth of interview research every week. If this was a Kansas City based story, maybe. Maybe we could, Cheeseaholic, we committed a lot of resources trying to find stuff out. It's a New England-based story. We just need it when it comes in. That's all. He never got married. He was with someone. It's really he was married for a long time. He got divorced. He was with the person before Jordan for 15, 20 years. They never got married, but they were together
at that point,
a really long time.
when you get that point in time, a lot of people
decide they're not going to get married again.
Maybe that's what's happened in the past. But the
She's
reports
young.
are that
they're
engaged. There's a couple reports out there that say that.
We've got no official confirmation on that yet, right? Just the reports?
Yeah, just rumors and stuff. I don't know if how. I'd be interested to see if it actually is true, if they would even have some sort of announcement or something like that. Drew's now. Drew, you just got to drop it. You now are in a heated conversation on the text line with someone that is arguing with you about your golf clubs.
It's not heated. By the way, golf clubs, there's no such thing as a soft shaft.
There's not.
In
There's,
golf clubs, there
it's
are only two.
just one way or the other.
In golf clubs, you have a regular shaft and a stiff shaft.
But you said you don't prefer, you like the regular one.
But there's...
I have regular shafted golf clubs.
So golf clubs, there's a difference in... There's like stiffness variance, right?
But which club, like overall, have you ever played well with the other or no?
I typically hit the ball further with a regular shaft. I hit the ball better with a regular shaft than a stiff shaft.
Okay.
Stiff shaft, you don't know where the ball is going. A regular shaft, I can dial in the shot shape.
Okay.
All part of the bit, boys.
We're going to get in trouble at some point today if we keep talking about
Up next.
Story.
The way you opened the show, Cody, also, with whatever the hell that was, the T-shirt. You were talking about a T-shirt that had some sort of graphic on it. That was and the way we started things off.
I was just describing the man's T-shirt. We'll talk about that dating app profile later in the show.
That's what it was.
Up next, let's talk about the AFC, what Bill Barnwell had to say about some of the best and worst deals in contracts that are out there, plus the random question of the day right here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Well, baseball season is in full swing. We were just talking about how far into the season we already are, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years. And, well, they know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830 and schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Ring the bell. We've done it again. Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. CordellCordell.com.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot, 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 and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC, used with permission.
This is Blake Fanning with Shawnee Mission Ford, here with a huge announcement. This month, it's employee pricing for all at Shawnee Mission Ford. Let me tell you one more time. It's employee pricing for all at Shawnee Mission Ford. You pay what we pay, not 1 cent more. You heard right. We got the employee pricing for everyone on new Fords. But that's not all. When you buy from Shawnee Mission Ford, you not only get employee pricing, but you also get our lifetime powertrain warranty, along with our 1-year Select Plus protection with your new vehicle purchase. This is what makes Shawnee Mission Ford different. You get all of it. Employee pricing on a great selection of new Fords, plus lifetime powertrain warranty, along with the 1-year Select Plus protection. And Shawnee Mission Ford is still going to offer you the highest trade values in Kansas City. Do not miss employee pricing for everyone. From America, for America. Shawnee Mission Ford, where we're on a mission to save you more. Excludes 25 Super Duties, Raptor line vehicles, 25 Expeditions, and E-Line.
Here is your Game of the Week, presented by Hyundai. After some exciting acquisitions in the baseball offseason, New York shares the spoils of their side of the standings with the powerhouse of Los Angeles. However, the two teams will face off in a 3-game series when Los Angeles travels to Queens to take on a team who is set on cementing their place atop the league. Do you think astronauts fight over elbow room? Probably, because advanced tech doesn't always mean more space. Until now. Introducing the Hyundai Ioniq 9, a 3-row electric SUV with over 300 miles of range, ultra-fast charging capability, and lots of space. The all-new Hyundai Ioniq 9. Space in an EV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. PA estimated range for Ioniq 9 based on fully charged battery. For comparison purposes only. Actual range will vary based on several factors. Introducing the all-electric Ioniq 9. Space for up to 7. Range for miles.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
You guys have got me dying.
You all right over there? You
Holy
okay?
smokes, I'm out
Text
here
line's pretty good.
trying to not.
Pretty good.
Text line is very strong. 913-586-7965.
The text line's right. I did forget the. Oh. I didn't think it was called a senior flex shaft. I just know flex shafts. I forgot about those.
So they exist.
Apparently so.
Thought you were a golfer, man.
Listen, I just hit the clubs. I'm
Even
like,
less belief you're breaking 100 if you don't know about the senior shafts.
You don't even know the different.
It's not my job to know the shafts. I just know the shaft of my club, and that's a regular shaft. And I can break 100 with regular shafted clubs.
Coming up in 25 minutes, we will get to a fan club Friday. Mackenzie Nelson, if she still wants to come on this show, is supposed to come on this show in the 1 o'clock hour. We'll talk to her about the Royals move today with Hunter Renfroe being DFA'd. We'll obviously talk some football. We'll find out. I think she was just on vacation, so we'll find out where she was at. And yeah, we obviously are going to talk about Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson. Yeah, definitely.
It's a Friday holiday weekend. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't we have a little show, fun on the show? What are you guys going to do this weekend, by the way? What's everyone's...
Well, the weather truly has put a damper on it, man.
Because we can't do, the pool, lake, normal stuff. It just feels like I'm going to be stuck inside all week.
It kind of kills that. So, honestly, I don't have a ton going on. Sunday night, so my other brother-in-law's birthday was earlier this week. So, Sunday night, we've got a dinner with like 8 or 9 of us. So, we've got some that Sunday night. Other than that, it's kind of wide open. Sometimes I would go to the lake Memorial Day weekend. It's too cold. Not doing that. Pool, not so sure. So, yeah, it's kind of a laid-back weekend. Going to enjoy taking some time off, I guess, an extra day. I don't know. I got a show still tomorrow morning. It's not like.
So go see a movie, maybe?
Oh, that's right. I want to go see Mission Impossible. That's what I'm going to go see.
Okay. Go see the new Mission Impossible movie. Drew, what are you going to do, man?
Well, the plan was to go golfing.
You just got done on vacation. That's dead.
I know. Yeah, the plan was to go golfing. Ironically,
Can you go to the range this afternoon at least?
Oh, today I absolutely can go. I was hoping because Monday was weird. It looked like it was going to rain. Then it was sunny, and then yesterday popped up with more rain chances. So looking unlikely that I'll play some golf this weekend, which is unfortunate. Yeah, a little bit of a damper, but I'm just going to hang.
You just played a bunch last weekend when you were on
4
vacation.
or 5 rounds.
Yeah, but I think there's not necessarily like a sicko aspect of it, but if you love golf, like Dusty could play golf every single day, could do 36 for 2 days, 3 days in a row, and he would love every single second of it.
And you don't.
I enjoy it, which is why I would play. Look, if it was a drizzle, I'd still go play golf in the rain. If it was drizzling, I'd still go play. I don't think that's a problem. I'm willing to go to that length and play.
Gotcha. But never mind. I'll stop. I'll stop. I
was going to talk about like you might just have to find a simulator. So
I was just going to say, does the weather impact his grip? I was going to ask if the weather impacts the grip of the. I decided not to go there. Yeah, I decided not to go there.
What are we drinking today? Can you give us a?
I made a tequila cocktail.
Will you drink that?
Brilliant. Yes.
Oh, he says brilliant.
In fairness, I did not have all the ingredients for like the traditional one I wanted to make, so I had to go off book a little bit. So we'll find out if I did a good job mixing it.
You're not sure it's going to taste good.
Well, I mean, it should. It has all the makings of normal ingredients that would taste good together. Makings. Tequila.
Let's cross our fingers.
Honey.
Okay.
Lime. Like none of these are offensive, right?
Nope.
And then like soda water, but it's
what kind of tequila?
Flavored.
You know?
Reposado.
Okay.
Is that offensive?
What brand of tequila?
Costco. Not kidding.
Oh, it's probably good actually.
Yeah. So it's their Reposado. That's
good to know. We will get to that.
Little orange juice as well. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
So a lot of ingredients. We'll find out how I did coming up at 1:00 in the fan club. Over at ESPN.com, Bill Barnwell. He's one of the guys over there that always writes about every team, which I find interesting. His most recent article is his superlatives for each of the teams in the entire AFC. We're going to focus on just the AFC West for the purposes of this conversation. Is what does he think it means? Like, for instance, for the Broncos, who we can talk about in a minute, he said, most likely to have Joker puns written about them in the headline. As in, he thinks Nick slacked last season when Peyton refers to as the Joker, a receiver that represents a mismatch against a linebacker where they could take advantage of those crossing routes. So, like, he's saying once that comes into play, he thinks that that'll be a big part of what the Broncos do offensively. His superlative for the Chiefs, let's cover that first. Most likely to slide their pass protection to the left.
Well, no doubt. I mean, it seems like a pretty fair assumption heading into the season until you get some confidence that either Jalen Moore or Josh Simmons. It's not even just about the tackles, as we've said earlier in the week.
It's about Kingsley,
your left guard, no matter who it is not going to get you the same all-pro level play that Joe Thuney has been giving you for the last couple of years.
Yeah, and I think that when I look at that and I read him like, okay, you're saying the joke is most likely to slide it to the left. I can't even argue. I'd like to say it's outside of there, but until we know what they have in Moore or Simmons and Kingsley at left guard, a position he has not played all but one game. Did he play in Week 18 last year, I think? Kingsley? I think he did.
Week 18, yeah, against Denver, yeah.
He got the one start there at left guard.
I think that's right.
It's an even bigger unknown, I would argue, than last year, or at least I'm admitting that it is. In retrospect, going into last year is a much bigger unknown than we were probably willing to admit, Gold, because we thought Kingsley was at least going to be an average-ish left tackle. We had no questions about left guard on the left side. So I'd say it's a bigger unknown going into this year with much more upside. Is there something else that would say it? I think most likely to improve on offense is what I would say. Like, I think of all the things, if I were putting the superlative to, I'd say most likely to improve on offense. 12th last year, 13th last year. What do Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown on an offense together, healthy, look like? To me, that would be a significant improvement. He put the Raiders just most likely to improve. One of the worst teams in the league last year. Geno Smith, one of the biggest upgrades any team made at quarterback, maybe than the Titans out of anyone to do. And then the Chargers, he put is most likely to try to run over and through their opponents. When I look at the way he's looking at the AFC, feels a lot more positive about the other three teams in the AFC West than he did the Chiefs versus they're just going to have to cover their own mistake again. And I don't know that that's the case. I think the Chiefs are most likely to see a massive offensive improvement from teams last year. I'd put the Bears in that category or some others, but shouldn't the Chiefs be at the top of that list?
I understand why the Bears are at the top of the list for most improvement. They've got a brand new head coach with
a lower bar,
with much lower starting point. A quarterback that everybody still thinks there's something to unlock there. I've never seen it yet, really. They've got a loaded wide receiver room, a revamped O-line. I get why the Bears would be the answer for like the offense to improve the most. I'm sorry, heading into the season. Yeah, I mean the Chiefs. I think what's happened from the national perspective when you're like previewing an upcoming year or whatever is they've gotten boring for some people. So you're either looking at the Super Bowl and saying, "Oh, this is who they are now. They just stink." Or now's the time to get them, kind of thing. And the Chiefs have an opportunity the first couple weeks to remind people why they're still one of the best teams in the league, very very quickly with the Chargers and the Eagles game. But I think it's that, and I just think some people are like, okay, the offense, they're returning a bunch of the same pieces, and so people aren't going to answer that, even though the Chiefs are hoping their plan is that a healthy Brown and Worthy with Rice all on the field together, that's going to solve some of this. I guess superlative, I mean, it's not team-based as much as it is individual. Like, I would say most likely have his best season since 2021, Hollywood Brown, right? I mean, he hasn't had over 700 yards, or he hasn't had over 710 yards since 2021. So I think that is not that crazy. Even if you're skeptical about Hollywood Brown, saying that he's going to have a 750 or 800-yard season, I really don't think is crazy. If you think that this plan is going to work, where everybody's going to be on the field at the same time, asking Hollywood Brown or thinking at 28 years old that he still can't have a 750, 800-yard season in this offense, I don't think that's crazy to ask.
It feels high knowing Rashee Rice, Worthy, and Kelsey's numbers, but not out of the question. Drew, do you want to know what they said about Cincy?
Oh, I already read it. It's very funny.
Most likely to hope their biggest problem just forgets about being mad.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trey Hendrickson.
Well, he's not. So he wants to get paid.
I don't think he's just going to forget about being mad.
I thought it was going to be most likely to be in shootouts every single week and complain that Joe Burrow has no defensive help. That would be my superlative.
That is the Bengals, though. Let's hope he forgets that he's actually mad at us in the first place, and then, he's going to sign the contract. It'll be great.
He's not going to sign the contract, correct, unless they pay him what he deserves.
Unless they pay him more, yes.
He will just play under the final year of his deal and then go become a free agent. Here's the other problem with Cincinnati, the way they spent their money. Could they even tag him? Is this they couldn't afford to tag him again, right?
No. I don't.
He'd just be a free agent.
Well, Trey's on record, too, of saying that he's not going to play.
Does he have another year left in his deal?
He said he's not playing on the final year.
He's going into the last one, but said he's not going to play on it. So basically, either he's holding out the entire season, it sounds like, or
they're going to have to trade him.
Trade, or they actually pay him. I think they offered, I saw $28 million a year.
That's below.
Yeah, it's definitely below.
This was always going to happen with Cincinnati. It was so obvious to see. They were going to pay these other guys. Everyone's like, see, they're different now. This organization, they spend money to keep their stars, and then they tried to undercut every single other person they had to pay.
They're still working on Shamar Stewart.
What?
The rookie has not signed.
The latest update, they're still working on. They're in phase 2, and he's
not practicing, right?
He's not participating.
It's not the only rookie not on a contract.
Not just that he hasn't signed it, it's that he's refusing to practice.
Good for him. Get paid first, man.
Yeah, good for Shamar.
I'm not showing up to, if 96.5 The Fan had hired me, they're like, hey, do you mind showing up while we're working out what we're going to pay you? I'm like, no. What? No, you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to agree to some compensation before I start showing up to work. That just won't work for me, I don't know what to say.
I get you. I think he knows what his compensation is. They just don't agree on the structure of it.
I think what Bill Barnwell wrote is the exact. It can be the same for Trey Hendrickson as it is for Shamar Stewart. Though, let's hope that he just forgets that he's.
I love it. This is why Joe Burrow is going to be Dan Marino. I love it. They're never going to be able to put it all together as an organization and get everybody clicking at the right time.
I think they miss right now. Early prediction. We'll see what they do the rest of the offseason. Early prediction. They miss the playoffs again.
You should make that bet right now with Drew.
With
Big consequences.
I had enough consequences on this show.
You got to stop trusting Cincinnati, otherwise those consequences.
You're the one that said they're not going to make the playoffs. I'm actually convinced that they probably will.
I think they're in.
But if you want to make that bet with Drew, I think we know what the consequence clearly is for Drew. It's very easy. Someone texted in yesterday that there's a place in the Kansas City area. It's like a clown maze. Or something.
Clown maze?
It would be, and we have to put a GoPro on them. Oh my gosh! Actually, we wouldn't want a GoPro. We want to see the facial reaction.
The idea of him. That's fine. We'll just have Kramer follow him. The idea of him just being like, Every time like a clown comes around the corner, worth it. What's
The fact that
punishment
it's a
for me,
maze too is so frustrating. I would have to sit down in the middle of it and just like quickly sob, and then I'd get on with myself.
I was a little worried about myself the other day because I went and did the Down for the Challenge. Thanks to the Salvation Army. You can sign up for that. They come back every year and you can rappel down the side of Arrowhead. Pretty cool opportunity for a lot of people to do. And, you get to see a part of Arrowhead you don't get to see very often. You don't climb on the roof of the stadium very often and rappel down. I was up on top the other day and it went pretty quick. I got there kind of late because we came out to the show. So they not rushed me, but they like walked me through the process pretty quick. And I was rappelling down. And I was like, is there something wrong with me? I didn't get nervous at all. I didn't get that like adrenaline rush or those butterflies. I just climbed down. Am I dead on the inside? Should I be concerned?
Well, the fact that you
I think it's because
your son was asking if you thought about if you would die. Then
it was a lot of fun.
You did a year ago, and then the fact that you didn't have to wait, I think,
You
and
think
you
just moving through,
you went right through.
edge?
You didn't have to stand there and watch other people do it. You went up and you just did it. I think that actually helps. But there's no chance I'm ever doing that. You know that. Rappelling off Arrowhead.
But you like a lot of people like the rush of adrenaline you get from opening
Anything.
a high-end pack of cards, placing a sports wager, being an athletic event.
Yeah.
So like
But I don't like
that
heights.
would provide that for you.
But I
though.
hate heights. It doesn't.
Your heart would be pumping. When you got down, dude, the adrenaline, you'd feel alive.
My legs would be shaking. It would be terrible.
But
I
the
told
feeling
you,
after is what you're seeking. The feeling
Cody,
of not during. You know?
When I was a kid, I could sit up like in 303 or whatever at Arrowhead, because that's where our season tickets were, and they were like row 25. They were not low seat. They were high up, okay? And it didn't faze me. There is no way I can even sit in those seats anymore. Heck, the seats I sat in for the wild card game, the 2014 wild card game, were behind home plate, but way up and at an angle. I can't sit there anymore. It's not like being like
the vertigo's getting you.
Yeah, dude. I'm literally like sitting at the side, and I'm holding on to the side of the seat. I'm so uncomfortable, and I feel like I'm going to fall off the face of the earth. Basically, is what it feels like. So nope.
Someone's a critic.
Nope.
Over the 816, climb down. That's not rappelling. Okay, so your feet can touch part of the wall in the early stages of getting down there. Then you just kind of rappel.
Did you just jump down?
Well, so
would it let you if you just jumped?
No, it's got like a safety thing on it. You can't. It locks if you try to go too fast. So like if you try to like rip down the rope, the thing auto locks and catches you.
Okay.
I had an auto lock the last time because I was trying to go too fast, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know if there's anything because I'm thinking of punishments too as you're saying this. Is there anything that you other than the strip club that you negotiated out of? Is there anything that would be a proper punishment if the Bengals?
I mean, if there's still
did
things
make
I
it?
don't like doing, like anyone else, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I don't have an obvious one like the clown maze offhand. So
that sounds terrifying. It just does.
Make them go during like Halloween time.
Hell no. Heck no, absolutely not.
Be amazing.
I can't do haunted houses either. I don't get freaked out. I just zip through. I just zoom through them. Like I'm basically trying to run through the haunted house. I would be running through the haunted house trying to get.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of haunted houses.
Trampling over kids trying to get through. They're like,
twice.
I'm done.
I've gone twice. I'm good on those.
They're so big here in Kansas City, and I still haven't been.
The Beast, Edge of Hell, all of them.
Yep.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew, over in the text line, 913-586-7965. I know we can get to a little bit of the action tonight. Knicks Pacers interest me with Mackenzie Nelson when she comes in for the fan club. Question I have for you today is whether or not, I'm not sure if this is a way all adults handle something or if it's just the way I feel like of a certain age or outside of this. So I want to ask whether or not this is a thing for you. This came up via social media, and it's something that I've thought about before. I've had a conversation with my wife. So YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, live stream the show. Do you, for certain purchases, require a computer instead of a phone? For instance, I consider some adult purchases this is a laptop-only purchase. I don't buy plane tickets or expensive electronics.
Those adult purchases.
Or those, like those kind of purchases. I don't make those kind of purchases, not on a laptop computer. Those aren't cell phone purchases. Over a certain dollar amount requires the needing to see it on a larger screen, for instance. Maybe it's just
I hear you.
So is that something that we're all doing, or is that just something I'm doing or a small section of us are doing as people?
Yeah, so I've bought plane tickets right from my phone plenty of times. I don't have to hop on a laptop for that. I think
laptop every time, 100%.
Really, even for flights? No, the only time I've booked hotels just off my phone. Before.
I do that. That is also that is a laptop.
I think
purchase.
the only way I would feel like I need to do my laptop is if it's like an expensive vacation and resort, and I need that would be the only exception. I don't think I would book like a $5,000 trip.
If I'm buying, like someone says, applying for a visa, that's on a computer. I need a laptop. I'm not doing that on a cell phone.
Trying to think. I just renewed my car my car registration. I did it from my phone.
No. I'm fully laptop on those. Man, it sounds like we're in the opposite of this.
I literally switched car insurance companies, got a quote, switched it, and did it all on the phone. Yeah, I don't feel like I have to use
Did you get a better rate?
I did. That's why I switched.
I switch once a year.
Yeah, I hadn't switched in a while, and boy, I should have switched a long time ago.
I told you. I was talking to you once. You or Drew.
Yeah.
There's some thought that the insurance companies intentionally keep rates for people because they know people don't want to change.
Yeah, no, I hadn't changed in a while. I'm glad I did. Definitely saving myself some money. Anyway.
Drew, what do you do? Do you got separate things you buy in the laptop versus the computer?
Yeah, so I typically, if I'm making a reservation, if I'm not necessarily I've booked plane tickets on my phone, but typically I'm like you, Cody, where if I'm booking a reservation for a hotel, plane tickets, a trip of any kind, typically do that on the laptop.
Banking stuff, right? Like if I'm making a bank transfer, I'd rather do that.
Oh, that's even easier. Just do from my phone. Oh my gosh, that's just easy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. The last quote unquote purchase I actually went to my laptop to make sure. Like I feel like that was where I had to buy it from. I don't even. Like, I guess when I was applying for a passport a couple years ago, but like that was only because I knew I was going to need to print something off.
This person says
at some point,
for the 816, they file their taxes on their phone.
Oh, there's by the way, there's my answer.
No, that's a laptop. That's way at the top of the laptop.
There's my answer to your question. The last time I felt like I had to use my laptop, when I file my taxes and I go through, TurboTax or whatever, I use my laptop, even though I can check the status on the phone. What's that?
Text line's really split. I'd say more people on a phone. From the 816,
second one.
Can I vote as this being the most boring random question ever? From the 816, if there's a lot of research required, I need multiple tabs open. So yes, I need a laptop in order to do that. Somebody says my $1,000 cell phone is my laptop or my desktop. Yep. So I just do that. It said, it's just you, bro. I use my laptop. But then some people said, I'm team laptop.
Is the laptop because you want a bigger screen and like you just need to see more, or what is it?
It feels like a security thing.
Oh, I think it's less secure than your phone, maybe.
I mean, they're probably equally secure, right? I'm on a Wi-Fi network. Why would that be any less secure than my phone?
I don't know. When's the last time you just? I feel like my iPhone has security updates every damn week.
Yeah, I'm sure my laptop has security.
But do you update them, or you say, next time?
No, I update them.
Okay,
I'm good on that.
All right. Fair enough.
I mean, at this point, someone's just like over on Twitch. They said all of my purchases have two-factor authentication set up at this point. So, what's the difference? Which one I'm doing it on? Yeah, I kind of hate two-factor though.
Oh, it gets annoying. But
I kind of almost wouldn't mind the risk of being hacked versus not doing it.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know what to say, but like I do it because
unrelated,
I have to do it.
Unrelated.
But I don't like it.
Unrelated. Your first car and what street did you grow up on? Just unrelated. Yeah.
Oh, those are doesn't matter. Yeah. Do they still ask for that?
Some of them will have that as like security questions if they don't have the two-factor. You'll still get asked.
A lot of it is like
maiden
mom's
name,
maiden name,
all that stuff. Yeah, those are the questions we've always.
Maiden name, that one does seem like it shows up a lot. I feel like it's always like the name of your elementary school. I get every once in a while.
Well, they give you like 10 options.
Definitely the first car. Yeah,
first car.
And in Drew's case, which golf club he prefers?
Yeah,
that's right.
They should ask more detailed questions that only you'd know the answer to. Which shaft style do you prefer in your golf club? Only you know the answer to that. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, nobody else knows the answer to that.
Yeah. I mean, Drew, you can't use that as an answer for your questions anymore. You definitely can't.
I use a regular shaft.
Okay. Seems like it could be problematic.
I don't think I'll ever use a stiff shaft.
Up next, we get to the 1 o'clock hour, a fan club Friday. Mackenzie Nelson from 41 going to join us. We'll talk more about Hunter Renfrow being DFA'd. We'll talk some Chiefs football and find out how the vacation went, plus Memorial Day weekend plans right here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Vernier every Wednesday at 12:30.
We need to nip this in the bud. We need to
nip what in the bud?
On your home for Royals baseball, 96.5, The Fan.
Expecting a stormy weekend here in Kansas City. Just had the hail roll through, all those big wind bursts that came through. If you got damage to your roof, Century Roofing, a company that is proudly locally owned and operated, is the roofing company you want to trust. They've done multiple repairs on my roofs. I've loved the work they've done. They've been upfront and honest. I said, hey, do I need to look into a roof replacement yet? They said, no. I think right now the repairs are what you need. As that time comes, if I need a roof replacement here in the future because of the recent hail, that's where I'm going to head. I'm going to go to Century Roofing because of their 35 years in Kansas City, over 30,000 roofs done in the area. So if you potentially damaged roof or you see your neighbor getting a new roof, there's a good chance your roof was damaged as well. Don't let someone just knock on your door representing XYZ Roofing. Trust a local Kansas City company doing it for 35 years. Plus, they're offering a free impact-resistant material upgrade right now to help save homeowners on their future insurance premiums. Go to CenturyRoofingKC.com, tell them that Cody sent you, and get the roofing you need. That's CenturyRoofingKC.com.
I'm McCall from Lee Summit Subaru, and we're committed to helping our community through the Subaru Love Promise, like our commitment to Hillcrest Transitional Housing to help solve homelessness. Lee Summit Subaru also sponsors several pet adoption clinics like Midwest Animal Rescue and events each year such as Dogtoberfest. It's all part of the Subaru Love Promise, and we're committed to helping our community fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. LeeSummitSubaru.com.
In 1950, my great-grandpa started Gunter Pest Control, and 75 years later, we're still Kansas City's highest-rated team of local experts. With decades of experience, our team has perfected the treatment plan to keep your home free from bugs, rodents, and termites. Gunter protects your home, but also the environment. Our treatments are safe for pets and kids, and our electric service vehicles are charged in our solar-powered garage. Go Gunter, go green.
Memorial Day's here, and Hy-Vee's my one-stop shop for everything for our celebrations. I love heading straight to the meat department for grilling favorites like prime reserve beef and Hy-Vee's famous specialty brats like pineapple or cheddar. And spend more time celebrating and less time prepping with Hy-Vee's full-service catering and ready-to-go meals, including ribs, barbecue chicken, pork, and so many different party trays. And don't forget the adult beverages. Hy-Vee has a huge selection of seltzers, wines, beer, and spirits, all for Memorial Day only at Hy-Vee.
Let the summer fun begin this week at Hy-Vee. Just 5 days to save big on everything you need for the perfect Memorial Day. Load up the grill with tender Hy-Vee pork ribs, just $2.97 a pound. Throw on some Oscar Mayer hot dogs for the kids, just $1.77. Add party-size Frito-Lay chips, $3.99. Ice-cold Pepsi 6-packs, $2.99. And get the party started. Stock up on all your summertime favorites this Wednesday through Sunday only at Hy-Vee.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
They will resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Reiselman Nissan, the king of midsize SUVs, has the ride you've been waiting for. Shop the best selection of Rogues and Kicks in Kansas City with payments starting at just $399 a month. Plus, every day, Reiselman salutes our first responders and heroes with special discounts. With over 160 new Nissans on the lot, your perfect ride is waiting. Visit ReiselmanNissan.com today and experience royal treatment at Reiselman Nissan. Every customer, every time. Reiselman Nissan. Not all vehicles may apply. See dealer or check ReiselmanNissan.com for all details.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain Scent Boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
During National Military Appreciation Month, we at University of Maryland Global Campus say thank you to the service members, veterans, and families who dedicate their lives to our country. We are deeply grateful. For over 75 years, UMGC has proudly served the military community, from installations overseas to the communities you call home. Wherever you serve, we stand with you. Learn more at umgc.edu/thanks. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Kansas City, this is Michael Massey. Listen to the play-by-play all season long with Denny, Jake, Ryan, and Stu right here on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, 1 o'clock hour on a Friday. It is a Fan Club Friday here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. He has turned the lights off, Drew has, over in his side of things.
I always do.
After some of the conversations
I never
we
ordered
had.
a new neon light.
It's a vibe.
We do need to get a new one. Yeah, we've got 3 drinks out right now. Tell us what you made. We got Mackenzie Nelson from 41 hanging out with us as well.
She just got back from Cancun.
Okay.
These are tequila-based cocktails.
Ooh.
So tequila, orange juice, honey, and then like a tangerine soda, essentially.
Yeah.
Like a sparkling.
Yeah,
soda.
it tastes like a refreshing drink. I don't even taste that strong of tequila.
It has a couple of ounces of tequila
Yeah,
in it.
well, I
so
believe you. Yeah.
I guess prepare
really
accordingly,
good.
but
Really good.
a
Love
nice
anything with
fruity
tequila.
drink before Memorial Day weekend, and we're all stuck inside in
When
the
it's
rain.
raining.
How does this drink compare to the ones I assume you had on the beach in Cancun?
Not bad.
Okay.
You know, sometimes the drinks they give you at like the all-inclusive resorts, they're not the best.
Little
You know, because you're
watered down
drinking so many,
sometimes,
right?
yeah.
But you've got the beach in front of you.
Yeah,
So
I
you
mean-
know what? Everything's good.
It's fine. Yeah.
How was your trip?
It was really good. I did not want to come back. I will say that. I was telling
just wanted
Alex
to live
that.
there forever?
I'm like, what could I do here? Like, could I learn to speak fluent Spanish and, you know, maybe do sports there? And, no, it's not
They
gonna
don't have a sports
I don't
TV
think I could
there?
do that. I have no idea.
Could you do your job remote? There are people in our industry that do the job remote.
I'd probably have to switch
TV,
sides and be like
yeah.
sales or something. I don't think I could do
Yeah.
it. But man, just imagine like taking your laptop to the beach and just working from there, living the life.
I do that. Like, not even the beach. I like to sit outside in like the screen porch and work sometimes. Like, if it's nice outside, I'm like, I will not sit in here and
Yes,
work.
get out of the building.
I'm gonna go do it outside. I've long advocated for a patio here. I think we should build
Right
a
there,
deck.
balcony.
I think we should just build a balcony
Build it
and
right
let
here.
these open up. One of those big, sweet accordion doors. We just open up during summertime. Oh, please. I'm sure they'd love to spend the money on
I'm
that.
sure the company would love not only that, but to have the balcony, have us drinking on a Friday by the balcony. I'm sure what could go wrong? What could
Every
go
time
wrong?
I come here, you guys are coming up with some different idea for what you're gonna do.
I'm
either
an
on the show or
entrepreneur
here.
at heart. I think I would like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't know, like, genuinely, radio can't last me forever, right? I better start figuring out some backup plans before I get fired or something, you know? And so I was like, entrepreneur seems like the easy thing because not a great thing to admit, I'm not great with superiors. I don't do
You like
great.
to be the boss.
I don't know if you know what's funny is that I don't even know if it's that I like to be the boss. I just don't like to be bossed.
Drew's shaking his head too. I'm
And
gonna let you keep going, buddy.
I
You
love
keep
it.
going.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it feels like entrepreneur is probably the better route.
Mhm.
Look, you got to be honest with yourself.
You can open your own business.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer that.
I wouldn't
What
even know where
business
to
would that
begin.
be? What business would that be?
Don't know. Not the restaurant game. Too thin of margins.
You just pull off the old line. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Cody
Not
is the
totally
business.
sure. Not totally sure yet. Working through that. We floated a lot of business ideas around on this show before, none of which have come to fruition yet.
Is there something wrong with me? I don't know, man.
I asked that question because I didn't get butterflies when I was rappelling off of Arrowhead yesterday.
Wait, what?
So I did the down for the challenge, and I rappelled off the top of Arrowhead, and I just kind of like went down casually, like I was going for like a stroll in the park. I was like, I should be feeling a little more like worried about
Adrenaline or
this.
something.
Are you good with heights?
Didn't get
no,
the
I
adrenaline
hate
this time.
heights.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And you're like in the harness and everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you were just
It
fine.
just seemed like I got down. I was like, oh, it's fun.
You were
Thanks,
so
guys.
calm.
It was fun,
I
but it's just like I
probably-
didn't, I didn't get like the adrenaline rush.
I would be panicking the whole way.
Just the whole. That's what
yeah.
he said.
I don't do
How
well
much
with
would
heights.
someone have to pay you to do it?
Oh, there's
Grand?
for
There's a
that
number.
for that exact scenario.
That exact
the
one.
price isn't even that crazy.
Okay.
I don't like heights. I don't do well with it. But like if you said $5 or $10 grand, I'd be in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to be paid a lot. I'm not doing
more
that.
than more than $5 grand.
Yes.
Really?
Man,
Yes.
$5,000?
Yes. What if that
a
thing
lot.
snapped and you just woo?
They got a backup cord. There's a backup line. There's two
Oh
lines.
my
The one you're
God.
using and a backup. Assume the backup one would catch me if the other one broke.
Is someone that like knows how to do that
Up
stuff?
top?
Going like right down like
No, I just
next
went right
to
down
you
by
or anything?
myself. Yeah. Last year
You're
I went
pro.
because I've done it twice now.
Pro.
Last year I went down by myself too. I think this time Gold's right. There was one thing that helped, which is I imagine helped. There was zero waiting. I got in there.
Okay.
They put the gear on me. They walked me right up the stairs. Did the quick training, like, hey, what's the symbol if you go down too fast and the thing gets stuck or whatever? And you're like, okay, stick your arms out. And then I just went right to the ledge of the building and went down.
Yeah, you have no time to think about it.
I think it's
You
a
just
cool
gotta do
experience.
it.
How many people can like I bet a bunch of people would love like a unique Arrowhead experience. People like the tours.
Well, I mean, I
It's
think
like
anybody
you
could
rappel off the
people
roof.
if they were willing to donate a certain
it's-
amount of money. I think
it's
people could have done
$500
it.
if you just wanted to
Yeah.
donate yourself, or it's $500 and you can fundraise, right? So down for the challenge, so you can raise money for the Salvation Army that way. It's really cool. It was fun. I just didn't get an adrenaline rush, and I was concerned that meant I was broken.
This will be a response Cody would normally have, so I'll do it to himself on this one. So, and how much money did you raise for you to do it?
I raised money. I sent out my link and did all that stuff. I don't know. I haven't
How
checked
much
the
money?
fundraising. I didn't raise the full 500.
No.
I would have donated. I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
You should have had us donate. You should have had us donate.
Alex donated the last time I asked for money, which is for my kids for the major saver
That's
card.
true.
I've already used mine like 3 times.
I haven't.
You know how
You
many
did?
times I bought those things from like neighbor
You only
kids
used it once or
somebody's kids?
twice.
Yeah, I did it to support your daughter.
They got a
But
ride in the
I'll be
limousine. They were
honest.
very excited
I'll
about
be
that.
honest. I have not used a single one.
Dang.
Not yet. Not yet. I know where the card is.
Maybe I'll use mine for. I've got one. I think one of the ones on there is Hawaiian Bros. Maybe I'll use that tonight.
Okay.
It was gonna be that or leftovers for dinner tonight. So.
Well, at some point this hour, we're going to talk about Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, maybe fiance, Jordan Hudson. I'm sure you're well aware of the story.
This is fun.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So we're going to get there. But the news of the day, though, is Hunter Renfrow being DFA'd by the Royals. We all knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't think it was today, but we all knew it needed to happen. Nick Lofton gets called up. What was your reaction to that?
I wasn't shocked. I mean, like you said, it's almost like we've been just waiting for the day to come
We
when
all
this
knew it happened
happens.
eventually.
Yes. I maybe wasn't expecting it to happen today per se, but knew it was coming. And I mean, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, I think like individually, like any interaction with him, we've had a great dude and everything,
he's
but
great.
you got to produce at big leagues.
Yeah.
You got to produce, and he didn't. And they, to me, gave him plenty of time to get it figured out. And this is the time where, in the past, they have made decisions on veterans that, even if they have to eat some money, that aren't performing. Hunter Dozier a couple years ago, and it was around May 29th for that, and here we are May 23rd. So this is the time where they. Like you're not.
Making
The
the
season's not
moves.
early anymore
Yeah.
once you get to Memorial Day or past Memorial Day weekend. But I was saying, I think McKenzie, it's Nick Lofton. It's just kind of like a patch. I don't think Nick
Yeah,
Lofton's
not
coming up
long-term.
and all of a sudden the offense is going to roll. No, nobody thinks that. The organization doesn't think that either.
I'm
But
not sure there's a player in Jack Caglione. I don't know that I would just be like,
Yeah.
offense fixed.
no.
Yeah. Which he's been fun to watch, right?
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
I think everybody's
Have
paying
you
attention to him.
have you guys? I know sometimes. Have you guys done a story? Have you gone to like Omaha or Springfield or Northwest Arkansas?
We've not. Something could be in the works on that, though. But we
Okay.
have been like putting some of his home runs, in our highlights and stuff, just because people want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're seeing it on X or Twitter or whatever, and I'm like, people
We drove
wanna
down
see
to
this.
Springfield to see it. We did the same
You
thing,
did.
right?
That's
we had the
awesome.
220-ish people or whatever that came down to do it.
Yeah.
It was fun. He had a home run while we were there, too.
That's perfect.
Wow.
That kind of added to the moment, I suppose.
He's just exciting to watch, I think.
He's also, just to be, like, for whatever you cover him in the future, he is a humongous person. He is all bit of 6'4", 200.
Are you looking up?
6'5".
6'5", 260 or whatever.
Wow.
His thighs were the size of Alex's chests. He also he gave the
checked out his
firmest.
legs.
He gave the well, he was in shorts.
Okay.
And he's just I don't think you could miss it. I think it's one of those.
Okay.
I just don't think.
It's right there. You have to look, right?
Yeah. Who among us?
Hold on, in
Mackenzie?
fairness, Dusty noticed that he shaved his arms.
No, we don't have confirmation on that.
Paying attention.
We don't have confirmation on that. Dusty
guys are
presumes
looking
he shaved his
hard.
arms. I did not notice that.
Dusty was paying attention.
I did not notice that.
You
And
might
we
need to go
can't
back
confirm.
so we can find out for sure. I need this
Ask
to be
him?
investigated. Yeah. I think you guys can do
Increased
it.
bat speed, less arm hair or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like that. He's like a swimmer.
Yeah, the swim caps, you got to shave all your hair.
Part of the thing with swimmers is they don't all shave. This is a thing I learned about it.
Really?
A lot of those guys look like they have no hair on their arms and legs because the chlorine kills it.
Oh.
Constantly being in the pool that much makes the hair growth really hard. So it's not even about that. It's just like the pool kills it.
Wow. I think you just solved every woman's problem that wants laser hair removal. Just go sit in some chlorine.
Sit in
for
the chlorine.
a long time.
Sit in the apartment pool, apparently. all the
summer
time.
long.
How did you find this out?
That's a
One day
great
you said,
question.
"Man, why do these people not have hair?" And you just Googled it, or what?
It was a former Olympic swimmer talking about it. I don't remember why, but I just ran across it once.
It's a fun fact.
Interesting.
I love it. Fun,
No, but
fun
everybody's
fact Friday.
everybody's excited for Cags. I think we'll get a chance to see him at the big league level later on this summer. Dusty and I are heading down to Omaha next weekend to watch him play a little bit, or up in Omaha, I should say. We got Mackenzie Nelson from 41 hanging out with us here. It's a Fan Club Friday. Text line is opened up as well, 913-586-7965. You'll like this one. Says Sarah here, can you guys please tell Mackenzie that she is always the best dressed ever and she is gorgeous. There you go.
Oh,
Positive
thank you.
text coming in.
So nice.
913-586-7965.
That's very nice.
Very nice.
Someone says, Cody, the shaving the arm thing is a baseball thing. Taping the wrist.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I haven't asked a lot of baseball players about whether they shave their arms. Do you want me to ask?
Now
a
you
different
know
one?
your questions.
I think that'd be really awkward the next time we talk to him. Or
Do you remember the one time we texted Vinny live on the show to ask him if one arm was longer than the other because somebody claimed that based on their own shoulder surgery?
That's less weird than the question about
you can get away with asking Vinny, I think.
Yeah, and Vinny, different relationship.
Well,
Different
let me ask-
personality.
It was a fun interview. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
different
great.
personality.
Let me ask.
You got to read the room.
Wait, you're texting him right now.
Do you shave your arms?
He's gonna be like, what are you talking
Why
about?
are you texting me this?
He'll
Most
answer
of the time,
though.
I
He'll
text him
respond.
some
This
weird
is
stuff
very important,
sometimes.
though.
He'll respond back.
This is
He's
great.
gonna say no, and then he's gonna be like, why are you asking?
He's got glorious hair right now. He's leaned all the way into
It's
the
like
curls.
letting it. Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Full flow. He's got more mustache than beard or clean shaven. He's going with a whole different look.
He's got
Look,
a
it's a big series this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know it's early, so it's not like I'm not trying to make it seem like this is do or die. But the idea that the other two AFC Central teams play each other that matter, and you play the Twins, kind of feels like, everyone's going to kind of jockey for a little bit of positioning this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't
What's
think so?
what's so funny? She just looked over here as you were talking, and she's
I don't know.
She
I
can't
didn't
take
say
she
anything.
can't
I'm
take
just
she
listening.
can't take you seriously.
I'm still waiting on the text response.
She's thinking
I'm sorry.
about the
He hasn't
text from
responded.
Vinny. It might be a few
You
minutes.
just like
My phone
just
buzzed and I
moved
wasn't
along to
sure.
the next
Yeah. Just-
Yeah. Well, I can't just wait. What if he
know.
doesn't text? What if he's at BP or something? I don't know.
True.
It's
always a good time when I come here, guys. I must
You
say
never
that.
you literally
I'm never bored.
you don't know what you're walking into is
Yeah.
what it is.
That's usually it.
We
right?
haven't even got to the Belichick
Do you have to
stuff.
work tonight still?
I'm going to work after this.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Royals are on the road. So are you like? What would be the sports tonight other than Royals highlights? There's no high school stuff
We've got
going
some
on yet.
college games going on,
Okay.
and then
Oh yeah, KU baseball is playing.
They won yesterday, right?
high school regionals.
Okay.
Softball still going on. I think we've still got baseball going on. State tournaments
right.
next week. So we got a lot of different things happening. Exciting things.
I guess that was the other thing we were gonna. I forgot. We were gonna ask. We're gonna play that audio from the Pablo Torre podcast here in a minute. But the other one I had mentioned earlier that I wanted to get your opinion on because Alex has been on the dating sites before. You said you've never been on them.
Mm-hmm.
But so we were talking about it because this one guy kind of went viral for having swiped 2 million times.
What?
And only got a single date. Like at that point, you got to quit the
2
apps,
million.
right?
I said,
Well,
how's he?
it's
He's
for-
keeping
long?
track.
Yeah, that, but also over what span?
I think it's like years and years
Okay.
and years.
Like how many swipes do you get in a day?
I don't know.
That's
man.
true. If you don't,
is there like a rule?
well, yeah. So
if
if
2,005,043 times, that only led to 1,269 chats that only led to one day.
Yeah, you can only.
So how bad are you in the chat?
Yeah, you can only
How
swipe
bad's
so
the
many
profile?
times a day. By the way.
Yeah,
Okay,
you've
Vinny
got to have
says.
some bad
Vinny
pickup
says
lines.
yes. He shaves his
He
arms.
shaves his arms.
Oh, okay. There you
He
go.
said he just said yes.
It's a baseball thing. It's a baseball thing.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say I was told it was a
Ask
baseball.
him: is it a baseball thing or is it just a personal choice? And then you can explain to him why you're asking.
So you guys don't shave your arms? Let's get that out of the
No.
way. No, okay, all right. Cody,
No.
you have long sleeves on.
I don't really. I mean, honestly, it'd be kind of silly. My arms pretty much look shaved anyway. I don't have that
Okay.
much.
Okay.
I don't have that much hair on my arms. It would be kind of weird, I guess, if I shaved them, you'd really know. So no, never done that. He just said yes. That's it.
He didn't ask why you asking.
No.
He knows
Doesn't
we're
apparently-
clearly talking about on the show.
Doesn't apparently
You
care
think he's
whether or
listening?
not. No,
No,
he's in
no, no.
Minneapolis.
But
He's in Minneapolis.
he knows obviously that it's probably in relation to the show. I doubt he
Yeah.
thinks Cody just had a personal question on the side randomly in the middle of the afternoon.
Maybe Cody's
you know?
contemplating if he should start shaving his
Yeah, you
arms.
should
At
ask
this
him. Do you
point-
think you should do the same?
At this point, he has got to be thinking. This is not the weirdest thing I've texted him. I'll just be
Seriously?
Sadly,
Oh my god.
the one time I tried to convince him to do a rap part of a song was probably the most complicated. Because I sent a very long message for that one,
Oh my God.
explaining what the lyrics would be and why I wanted him to do it. But I don't know. I'm guessing it's just a baseball thing. I said I heard it was we're being told.
Who knows?
Apparently baseball
we've
players
been
do it.
told.
Could be background. It could be anything. You never know.
Like someone said, like maybe it's because like the gloves and the taping of your arms and
Yep.
all that stuff.
Yep.
Maybe just like the way it looks. What do I care? I honestly don't care. I don't
I
care.
mean,
if people
but
shave
okay.
arms.
Let's say
Oh,
when
yeah,
it starts
yeah.
to grow back, is it gonna feel like a leg? Yeah. So like maybe you're on a date and your arm rubs up against the
Oh.
girl you're out with, and she's like, ah.
I mean, I guess that would mean you'd need to shave it from like
Often.
Do you think they're shaving it, or they just, or they
like you're gonna get laser hair removal just for arms?
or they like? I guess
be
could they
expensive.
wax their forearm?
You could. It'll last you like 3-4 weeks, maybe.
Maybe that's what they
That
do.
would hurt.
I don't know.
That does feel like a that
looking
feels like
at
a lot
my
of
arm,
sur-
that would be awful.
That's a
oh
lot
my
of surface
gosh.
area.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
you'd
that
still have to buzz it or something.
That would
like,
hurt
depending
so
on the
much.
length.
Yeah, it's like they would trim it, or so you'd have to
That
like
would
cut it shorter.
hurt
Because
so
if you
much.
put wax and rip it off, your
Is that the
your
next punishment
skin's
for
coming
you?
off.
Oh
we
my
wax your arms
gosh.
gold.
That would be awful.
That
I just
would
hate
not
it.
feel
I just hate it when you have like they put the wristband on to get into
Oh,
it.
it like
and it
pulls
gets
the
stuck,
and they'll
tape.
get
yeah.
stuck in. They'll
Yeah.
get stuck in your arm hair. That hurts. Let alone I can't imagine having that 100
Tape.
times with
Yeah.
tape ripped off.
Good
Anyway,
point.
We're really coming.
This is important stuff.
great conversations.
Then he
today.
says, "I'd say most baseball
Oh.
players do it."
Oh,
"Oh, well, you would know."
So he's
You would know.
saying that this is a common practice for baseball players.
wow.
This can be your next story. You know.
I
We're
think I
learning
should
new
ask all of
things.
them in the clubhouse the next time I'm at Kaufman. I'm going to ask all of them.
And I wonder if it's like a hitter versus pitcher thing. Feels like it might be more common with hitters. They got more. Well, I don't know. You got the rosin and all that
I
stuff.
think it's just because their wrists are taped up and already, or something. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
what I was thinking. Man, I was not planning on getting to that.
That's the investigative reporting coming to
Yeah.
41 this weekend.
We break down the.
Are you
important
doing
things
anything
on
with the
this show.
Savannah Bananas? That's in town too. I've heard
That's
that.
happening tonight, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are going out to that or not.
We'll
But
have a couple people out there live covering that. That's
Nice.
exciting. They sold the place
that's
out.
and they've sold out
2
football
nights in a row,
stadiums
right?
too.
They
got
sold out
bad
like
weather,
Tampa Bay and
unfortunately,
yeah. Hopefully they get the game in tonight and tomorrow because I know so many people spent so much money on
Yeah.
those
The
tickets.
tickets
They've got a
were not-
rainout day on Sunday if needed. I think.
Yeah,
Okay,
one of the
good.
players was on with Fesco and Dusty this morning and said that basically, as long as they'll let them on the field, like
They'll play.
they'll play if it's safe. But it's not like the same strict requirements that Major League Baseball have. Although my guess is if they're using Kauffman Stadium's field, my guess is they'll be at least they don't want them
rules,
tearing up the
yeah,
field
yeah.
completely.
Royals come back on Monday. I don't think that they want
right.
I don't think they want to risk chewing up the entire infield
sure.
over the Bananas
But
game.
it's-
Although
look,
it brings a
it's-
lot of revenue. I mean, they do a great job.
Have
with
you guys watched them in person?
Not in person.
I'm not in person either.
No.
I've seen all the videos and things like that.
I mean,
Like
if you have
Harlem
kids,
Globetrotters of baseball.
it looks like it would be a blast to take your kids to, Cody.
The growth is what's really impressive with
Yeah.
it. Like
They were at
how
Legends
big-
Field, right? A couple years ago.
Yeah,
Now
and
they're
now-
selling out Kauffman Stadium.
Yeah, major
Wild.
league fields for multiple nights, and the secondary market on it's really, really expensive. Like it's tough. It's tough to get tickets to. So like it's become incredibly popular. Well, good for them. They've carved out a nice little chunk of the market. For them.
They're making a nice chunk of change these days now for all that.
It goes way back now. When did they start? 5-10 years ago?
I'm not sure the
initial
origin.
story?
I know the ESPN did a whole like documentary or quick like in-depth piece on them many years ago about kind of their rise.
Like a 30 for 30, at least on that end.
Something like that, yeah.
Some version of that. Did you watch the Chiefsaholic like documentary on Prime?
I mean, I watched it. I started it. Okay, I was maybe 20 minutes in, and I turned it off.
You were like, I can't do
I was
this?
like, I can't watch this
I
anymore.
will say, there were a couple of people in there, like the one fan girl. They make me
it's
kind
embarrassing.
of uncomfortable.
Embarrassing, honestly.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely obsessed with
But also,
Chiefsaholic.
like, everybody that they interviewed, I get it. Like, it's a show. You want the viewers, whatever, to be entertained. But it was like they were making him out to be some, like, hero that
Like
just
we all knew who he
represents
was or
Kansas City.
something.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Yeah,
Like,
they
what?
made him. They like
It was
put
weird.
a cape on him a little.
Yeah.
The fans, not the documentary.
Yeah.
But the people who were like the fellow super fans, and then the one
Yeah.
person who seemed like she's really like super
Yeah, and
fans.
she wasn't even, like, from here. She
No.
live on the East Coast or something?
yeah,
And
something
she was,
like
like,
that.
in love with him or something.
Clearly.
Something weird was going on.
Borderline. It feels like stalker behavior.
Yeah, I
Have
just
you-
couldn't watch it.
Have you guys had any trouble with like stalker? Have you ever felt like you've had like someone you're like it's paying a little too close attention? You're a TV, Mackenzie. I feel like you're
Yeah, I'm sure she's got a much bigger problem with this than
I've
I
had a
would.
few restraining
Yeah,
orders,
my-
yes.
A few restraining
yeah, I want to hear
orders?
more about that than mine. My only thing is occasionally.
I wanna hear about your
yeah,
minor thing
mine's not anything like that. It's just, I've had some of the same people send me DMs over and over and over, stuff like that. But
Won't
no,
give up?
Yeah, but you have had restraining orders.
Yeah,
Let's
over the
talk about
years.
that.
Did they send weird
If
stuff?
you want to
Say
talk
weird
about
stuff? What was it?
Oh, so I've had some weird things happen. I've had people mail me clothes and shoes to the station.
No,
or
hold on. Like new clothes and shoes, or like their
brand new.
Like-
yeah, like they're
Oh,
trying
like
to like,
buying
give
you
me
gifts.
stuff. Yeah, and
What
then
did you-
send it back.
You sent it back, yeah.
Then
yeah.
I had to change like my Venmo account because people were Venmoing me money, which isn't a bad thing, but it's like
Was
I
that
cannot
our fault?
accept
Was
this
that over
money.
the coffee?
What?
Was that when we did the coffee thing?
Oh no!
Oh no! We made you change your Venmo account.
Whoops! Sorry.
Yeah.
That's on us.
No, it's
Oops.
fine. But then I had to get a restraining order when I was in California. I had, some weird things going on out there.
In California?
I worked there before I came to Kansas City. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like separate to it. So
Same.
in California, enough weird things happened.
Some
with
weird viewers that, knew where I
Stalking?
lived. They would follow
Oh.
me from work places. Yeah.
Oh boy.
So. Just know I don't play, guys. If you think about
Man.
following me, watch out.
You're gonna get a restraining order. Well, that's honestly, that's probably for everyone's
Weird.
safety.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, being in TV is weird. I will say that.
Well, it's weird because like they know what you look like. They know your face. They know, and like
Yeah.
sadly, the internet has made it way easier
True.
for people to like you try to be careful about the things you post, but like let's say you just posted like, oh, I'm in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Now they know you're at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Well, I posted that I was here with you guys, but usually if like people follow me on social media, I don't ever post when I'm actually there.
Smart.
Like I
yeah.
post after I'm gone because it just
yeah.
is weird.
You're not saying, hey, I'll be here at this time.
Yeah, never. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Or if I'm like at
that's-
a bar or something and someone tags me, I never repost it for everybody to see until I'm already gone. Just a safety thing, you know?
You know what? I hate that you have to do that. That's sad.
Fine. I have
But
great
also
stories.
it is like
great stories.
Jeez.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were going to say multiple restraining
Yeah.
orders.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh yeah, totally normal.
And
It'll
like,
happen to you
when's the
guys.
last time this happened?
It would have been at least like 7 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
so
good.
it's
So
been a
it's
minute,
cooled. It's
yeah.
cooled off. People are
Yes.
acting like normal human beings.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. That's good.
It's
to
crazy
hear.
though. You have to like go to court. You have to do all sorts of things. Like it was a process. Isn't that wild?
Do you have to prove intent? Or like how many? Oh man, that's such a pain.
Yep.
You can't just say,
Leave me alone.
do you mind?
Can you just not?
Do you mind? I'm not interested. And like the closing, that immediately makes it so creepy. You're like,
Was it nice?
No!
Like, was it nice stuff they were trying to send you?
So, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I've had people send me shirts or, just random weird things. But then I had someone send me a bunch of like Amazon packages that were like high-heeled shoes. And if you know me, you know I don't wear high heels. I don't wear heels at all. I'm always like in tennis shoes or something. So I was like, what am I supposed to do with these? Like, I just sent them. But they all arrived to the station. So, like, our nice, like, sweet
jeez.
lady Deanne, who's at the front, she's like getting all these
Did you
packages.
order
I'm
shoes?
like, oh my God.
Was this from one person?
I think so.
Oh man, I got money to burn. That's
Did
for
they
sure.
get?
I know.
Was this
and
the one?
people
Like,
Venmoing me, I'm I'm like, what is wrong with you guys?
Did the person sending you the stuff get a clue, or is that who you had to get a restraining order against?
No, that was not the person.
They eventually caught on
They
that
just
you-
like stopped. Yeah.
I think some people think anywhere on the internet is essentially an opportunity to be on a dating site.
Maybe.
Venmo, I can, I send you $5.
Oh,
Maybe we'll
LinkedIn,
accidentally
sliding in the
LinkedIn.
DMs
sliding
on
into
LinkedIn is
LinkedIn.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
bad. That's
crazy.
I do
bad
have one
behavior.
fun thing that's going on right now. I've gotten probably 6 of these letters in the mail to the station, and it's somebody that's writing me. I don't know who it is. I can't really tell the handwriting. It's kind of scribbled. Could be someone from maybe jail. Someone,
Okay.
Who knows?
Don't know.
But they're sending
Chief
me
Solid.
a piece of paper that they have written 4 words on it, and it could be like charismatic. Like, I don't know, just like 4 random words. And I started saving them because I'm like, is this a puzzle I have to put together?
Like,
What is
he's a
this?
Zodiac killer?
Yeah, this
Something
sounds.
happens to me. These are in my
Mackenzie,
desk.
this sounds like, unfortunately, this sounds like the start of
So you
a.
got 4 or 5 letters total?
I think I have 6 letters.
And they each have 1 word,
They
or they
each have 4
4?
letters, 4 words each per letter, and I've gotten probably 6 of these letters.
Any repeated words?
And they're from the East Coast somewhere, like in Pennsylvania, which who knows if that's really where it's from.
Any repeated words?
No.
Well,
So I'm
will you
keeping
send
them,
these
and
to
I'm
me
like,
later? Now I
they
want to
gotta
try to
go
solve
in
the puzzle.
order,
Can
right?
you
Maybe it's spelling out a sentence.
next time you come in
The first letter
studio?
of each one?
bring
Can
them.
you bring them all in? Can you bring them all in next
We
time?
can solve
and
it
we're
together.
gonna figure this out.
Oh
yeah.
my God. Yeah,
we've
it's a
got
weird thing.
we've got Mackenzie Nelson from 41 hanging out with us here on the Fan Club Friday. Up next, I want to talk about Belichick and his fiance. Who knows what's going on? Plus, what Pablo Torre found out about the Airbnb. That's next.
This is Cody and Gold.
You will not decorate my balls, period. I will decorate my balls.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5, The Fan.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education, but that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
It's the spring sales event at Rob Sight Ford, and I'm here with the man himself, Rob Sight. Rob, you already stole the spotlight. Now what are you trying to take?
Just your attention, Kevin, and maybe a few trade-ins. Now, we've got up to $14,000 off new Fords with employee pricing, plus our own dealer discount.
14 grand. That's hotter than your Sunday barbecue.
Exactly. And unlike your burgers, these deals won't dry out. We've got hard-to-find inventory, huge trade-in values, and our non-commissioned sales team makes everything so easy.
No pressure, just real help. Even I'll admit it, it's the best place in Kansas City to buy a car, and I don't hand out compliments lightly, or seconds.
That's a fact. And don't forget, we're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 reviews, and 0 grill marks.
All right, Rob, I'll give it to you, man. You're cooking up some real value over there.
Come see us at 135th and State Line or visit robsight.com. But hurry, these deals are sizzling and inventory is moving fast.
And tell him Rob sent you. No guarantees, but he might throw in a hot dog.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000. Or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com. And I look forward to working with you.
As men get older, our bodies change. We all know that. And often, we just accept the changes as the way it is. But some of those changes, such as bad sleep patterns, low sex drive, brain fog, no energy, and reduced gains in the gym, could be due to low testosterone. And that is something you can change. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And even if you're in your 30s, if you're experiencing some or all of the symptoms I just noted, you very well may need low testosterone treatment. With our treatment protocols, if you're like most men, you'll be amazed at the change. You'll have more energy, improved mental clarity, your sleep will be better, so will your workouts, and you'll likely find that your sex drive increases too. So give us a call today and make the change for good. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices to serve you. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the GPS directions first, before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The power of Dell AI with Intel Inside is transforming the world of pro sports. Teams can see curveballs coming with predictive analytics. Coaches can use AI insights to help players improve their shots in real time. And fans can get more out of every winning moment with AI-enhanced replays.
Unbelievable! What a play!
See how Dell Technologies with Intel Inside can power your wins at Dell.com/win.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Lowe's knows that no matter your paint or stain project, saving is at the top of your to-do list. Save now with buy one, get one half off select paints, stains, and primers from top brands like Valspar, HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, and Cabot via Visa gift card rebate. Find more Memorial Day deals now at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 5/15 through 5/28.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Stay comfortable year-round with expert HVAC installation done right the first time. Enjoy zero down and payments from $180 a month. Schedule your consultation today at anthonyphce.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Back here on Fan Club Friday, it's Cody and Gold. We've got Mackenzie Nelson from 41 hanging out with us. We'll get into Bill Belichick and what's going on with him at North Carolina. Maybe also your perspective on, we haven't talked to you since the draft, and also just kind of now looking into where some of the national narratives are at for the Chiefs heading into the rest of the offseason and kind of that dead period for a bit before we get to St. Joe, and I know you'll be up there as well. Yeah, you can't wait,
Do we
can
have
you?
to talk about it this early?
No,
it's gonna be
because
here
we're all
before we
going to
know
be
it, though.
living up
I
there in a
know.
couple of months.
We really are. St. Joe, what a place.
Yeah.
I just I've spent so many.
It's not even the place as much as it is the I don't mind when we're there in St. Joe. Obviously, we've met some great people up there. It's more just the drive back and forth every time.
Every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't stay up there. They don't
We don't either.
There's not an Odyssey hotel. We just drive up and drive back.
Let's just get a giant Airbnb, you know? You can move in your family for a month. No big deal, I'm
You want
sure.
to live with my family?
Well,
or
I'm going to have a separate. I'm going to have a separate one. Yeah.
I was like, you want to live with an 8 and a 6-year-old?
No, I'm good. I'm
For
good.
6 straight weeks?
No, I mean, it'd be great content for the show. The content for the show would be. I think I would lose my mind after a while.
They had field day today. Classic
fun.
elementary school
A lot
day.
of schools are done after today. So a lot of schools today's the
My
last
kids
day.
aren't done until Thursday.
Depending on what side of the state
Not
line
too
you're
many
on.
snow days.
What school district?
North Kansas City.
Oh, okay. So they're done this week, but
They're done
or
next
week.
Thursday. They had too many snow days, and then there was some the Missouri legislature can't do anything, right? I think they were looking at forgiving those days so that maybe they could just be done, which I'd be fine with.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, they're making them go back for 2 days, 2.5 days
all
next
out.
week.
Yeah,
They got out yesterday.
I think Blue Valley. Yeah, yesterday or today. Blue Valley's
Just
done.
Tuesday,
and-
Wednesday, and a half day Thursday. That's it.
Wow.
So, have you been keeping
They
up
like
with this Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson story? It's been going on for
Trying
almost
to.
a month now, I feel like. Obviously, he's the head coach in North Carolina. She has been dating him for quite some time, it sounds like. There's rumors they're engaged. She has reportedly at times been maybe very involved in not necessarily the football stuff, but definitely his media, marketing, the book, all of that kind of stuff. Pablo Torre's been doing an interesting job covering this, trying to get more details. North Carolina has disputed his initial report that they banned Jordan from being at North Carolina.
Pablo's been all over this story.
The latest, though, on their podcast yesterday, Cody was listening to the full episode, and I guess Pablo Torre tracked down the Airbnb owners of the famous Airbnb where the video where, I don't know if you remember from it, I don't know how many months ago or a year ago it was.
Yeah.
But Belichick walking out of the front door shirtless.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know what I'm
At
talking
the
about?
beginnings of their relationship
Yes.
now, we're learning.
We were like, what is he doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And so Pablo Torre got a hold of the owners.
Yeah, and this clip is definitely worth hearing when you hear the Airbnb owners talk about this experience.
As a new host, as you now learned through her experience with me, she's very friendly. And she offered the same courtesy to Jordan Hudson.
As a new host, I tried to make it a point to meet people, and I couldn't meet her right when she arrived. So I came in and I'd come off the golf course, and we were just chatting about different things. And that's when she said that she wanted to know how far Danvers was. And I was like, oh, are you getting married? She's like, no, I compete in pageants. And I said, well, we're members at the golf course. You should come and play with us. My friends have clubs they can lend you.
Yeah, she said she played. That's
Yeah, she said she played, and she also said she prefers the men's senior shaft. So I just sort of didn't really think much about that until later.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Am I Team Jordan?
Katie
Wait
Nolan.
a second.
This is a golf term I have learned.
I mean, a men's senior shaft. Now, may I ask, because I just like to ruin your day.
Yeah.
This is, at this point, does this woman know, at the point that Jordan is saying that she prefers a men's senior, does she know that her guest with her there is Bill Belichick?
I am so glad you asked that question.
Yes, finally.
We saw the ring video in the morning, not knowing who this was, but it was an older gentleman with a very young woman who checked in the night before, and a car parked up where it said no parking was worrisome to us that
Love that he
this is
parked
going to
in no
shut us
parking.
down. We need to make sure that they know
Can I
like,
tell 'em?
registered guests cannot.
She said, she's like, she's with this creepy old guy. It's either her relative or a drug dealer. It was the first thing because of the age discrepancy. Remember, you go, must be
Yes.
a freaking coke dealer. I was like, what?
It
Come
was
on.
crazy.
So that was her first reaction. And then I started looking. I'm like, that does look like Belichick. And then I saw the walk and the hunch he had because they were doing OTAs, so he had the farmer's tan going.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
I gotta be honest, she was making those jokes early on. She was
Oh, my
comfortable from
God.
jump.
Yes. Oh my God.
Do you think what's your
There's a rumor they're engaged, right?
yeah, do you think they're engaged? How do you think they met? What's your reaction to this whole thing that's been going on for a month plus at least?
I've been trying to figure this out. Like, where would they have crossed paths? Where,
They claim to have met on a flight.
on a flight. Okay. I don't think I knew that.
That's what
I
they
don't know
claim.
if they're engaged.
There's
but
just a
I could
rumor
see
that
if they
says
are
that.
engaged, they would definitely not want people to know because everybody's been very vocal about their relationship. But I mean, I mean, who wouldn't be? I guess.
Yeah, what's the age range for you, Gold? What's the youngest person you would date? What's the oldest person you would date?
I think 27 to 38-ish.
Okay. Is that similar for you, Mackenzie?
Yeah, I've just turned 33, probably 38 to 28.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are in a very similar range.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, is it? Because like there is
Yeah.
because I said the stat yesterday on this that made me feel, or 2 days ago, that his age discrepancy is closer to the Titanic sinking than Jordan, and I'm like, I mean, come on.
He's older than her parents.
Yeah, by quite a bit.
Yeah. Like he could
He's
be
quite
their
a bit
parents.
older. Yes.
And
he's
the
quite a
report
bit
is-
older than his father. His
report-
maybe future father-in-law.
There's a lot of theories out there because people looked up and found out like all of a sudden she now supposedly has like $8 million worth of real estate.
That's a wild
and her family doesn't necessarily come from a ton of money. It sounds like her mom's like what she owns a sex museum or something.
Yeah,
I
something
think
like
is what it is.
Makes
Like so the whole story. Yeah, she obviously likes a certain type of golf club.
Yeah.
Mackenzie as well.
Not
so
the first older man that she's dated, right? The guy that she dated
That's
before
right.
Bill
Yes,
Belichick
yes.
was like 70 or
Correct.
something.
So she does like a senior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw, but the interview, I think it was maybe CBS did the interview with him, and she was like off to the side, and they were asking how, they met, and she was like, we're not going to touch
Yes,
that
yep.
topic.
Yo, so
And
awkward.
like just shut down the interview, and then CBS
then
was talking about it afterwards. I'm like, oh my god.
And then Belichick was on with Strahan like last Friday or something, I think, on Good Morning America, something as well. And Michael Strahan's like, a lot of people were talking about you and Jordy. He's like, Michael, we're not going to talk about my personal life or whatever. And then he's like, well, are you happy? And he's like, yeah, I am. And that's all he would say.
Okay.
That's all he would say. Belichick's happy. That's all that matters.
I just
Kind of.
wanna know,
Sort
like,
of.
Maybe we
her
all need to
family
not be
thinks.
so sour on love. They can find love, and I'm not a good person to speak
Someone
on it.
says-
I've been married to my wife forever.
People think that this Jordan girl maybe has interesting career decisions and path in her life. I don't know. That's
I don't know
all
anything
that
about it.
stuff. That's
If
all.
I told you guys I was dating a 70-year-old, what would you say?
I would judge you. I wouldn't
You would
to your
judge,
face.
right?
I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't say it
I would say
because
what
I've
is
known you a long
going on.
time and I try to be polite. But I would be like to the people close to you. I
Mackenzie.
might message Daisha and say, "Is she okay?
Is she
We would
okay?
say, are you okay?
Is Mackenzie okay?
I
Is
would also-
everything fine?"
I would also say he must be loaded.
Oh my god.
I would say what business did he used to own?
Yeah. How much money does he make?
That's what I would be thinking immediately.
Are you jaded by love? Is it? Or are you guys officially jaded?
Oh yeah, like
Oh yeah, so
1,000%. No, like I don't even have to hesitate with that. But no, the weirdest thing that I think about is when I see like the photos, Jordan will post, or just remember the Halloween photo,
Yeah.
whatever.
The beach one with like the airplane. That made
mermaid
me
and the-
really uncomfortable. But yeah.
But like, think of like, okay, family dinner, meeting your family for the first time, and you bring home 70-year-old.
Oh, that's why.
So weird, right?
Is it Belichick's sister or whatever? Whoever who's like that whole thing's.
I think so.
She's up. That would happen in any circumstance. That if your dad, I guess, is dating somebody younger
Families
than
are
you,
always going to be protective, but just imagine it to that extreme. Like no matter how, like you brought a new boyfriend to meet your dad for dinner, he would automatically be judgmental. He'd be cautious. He'd be like trying to protect you a little bit, right? He'd already be leery. If he was 40 years your senior, the vibe is very different.
Yeah, if he was older than my dad, that's uncomfortable for everyone, I think. My dad would be like, okay.
Yeah.
Can I still ground you at age 33? I don't know.
What are the rules on this? He still helps you a lot, doesn't he? Didn't you say your dad always like helps you around the house and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Like as far as like you got projects?
Yeah, he renovated my house when I bought it. And I mean, if I need something like put up or built in my house, God, I gotta stop calling him so much.
No, it's good. I need tips from you. I'd
realizing
like
it.
to be that kind of dad. I think I'd like to be the kind of dad that my kids think I'd still help
It's
them.
funny now because I'm like, oh, I want to do some landscaping, or like, how much dirt do I need? And he'll send me something, and I'm like, I have no idea what you just said. And then he'll just send me like thumbs up, like,
Cubic
got
feet.
it, I'll handle it. I'm like, okay, great.
Thank you.
Like cubic yards, and I'm like, you're speaking another language. Just can you?
I mean,
get
in
it?
fairness, the mulch bags do say the cubic yards on the bag. So if he said 200 cubic yards, which no way you need that
Okay,
much. I don't
Cody.
think.
All right, Cody.
It's on the bag.
Uh-huh.
All right, Dad.
Yeah.
I am a 40-year-old dad.
You are
This
a
is not an
dad.
insult. I'm a 40-year-old dad.
Yeah.
This is a fact about me.
Did you
I had to talk my kid from coming inside yesterday because he wanted to play baseball so long.
On the football end of it, everybody's trying to figure out because Belichick's buyout drops to $1 million on June 1st from $10 million or whatever.
Okay.
So people thought, oh, maybe UNC will just say, we don't need this distraction. We'll just fire you. Do you think he coaches a game? Will he coach week 1 in September or late August?
I would like to say yes. I think he coaches a game.
As long
I
as-
mean, are they going to get rid
I
of him
think
just
they're
because
too
of his
into
personal life?
Well, the
Because
concern,
he's not doing anything wrong.
based on Pablo Torres reporting, the concern that people have brought up is that how did this ring video get released to begin with? What other scoop and dirt does she or somebody in her family maybe have on Belichick that could then embarrass the university even further?
I mean, the Airbnb owners are doing interviews now. Couldn't they have just leaked it?
Why would they leak it?
Oh, send it to a friend. You run an
No,
Airbnb
but, like, they should
outside a photo.
Airbnb-
You're like,
Belichick, yeah.
If
Bill
they,
Belichick was just shirtless in front of my
No,
Airbnb.
but
I don't know,
A
man.
lot of people can sell that too.
I know, but like if I have an Airbnb and I'm renting that out and I have a Ring camera in the front door, and
you're kind of ruining, you're probably breaking terms of service.
I'm renting it out, and I'm then sending out video of you arriving at my Airbnb to TMZ. I don't care how famous you are.
Mm-hmm.
Airbnb should kick you off their platform. You shouldn't be allowed to rent anymore.
Oh yeah, because that's that's privacy. Like it's
Right.
private information.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, it shouldn't
Like-
be. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm off Airbnb, by the way. I don't know, man.
I mean, you're off Airbnb.
It's
we might be doing that for Omaha next weekend.
The price per what they're asking
They're
me to
showing-
clean.
they're
I'm
showing
in the
the
hotel game. I'm back in the hotel game.
I feel like the cost of an Airbnb is almost more expensive than just getting a hotel.
Yeah,
Depends
they
how
tell me
many
to like
people-
load the dishwasher, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
it depends how many
exactly.
people you have.
Yeah.
Going with you. If it's just you, then get the hotel. If it's
Yeah.
you got a group of 6 people going, the Airbnb might be better. At least now they're required. They're showing the fees like all up front. They're not no
Yeah, I
longer
do
like
like that.
$110 a night, and then there's $450 cleaning fee
Sure,
on, so all of a sudden
yeah.
it's a $500 one night
fine
thing or
print.
whatever. So I think that's better. But yeah,
I thought about it for Texas because there's 4 of us, right? And my kids aren't big enough now that we can't just share a hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point they will be. Like for her dance comp, there'll be a time when the 4 of us will be like, we're all too old.
Yeah.
And do I want to get a second hotel room or do I want to just get like an Airbnb with multiple rooms?
Are you guys ever weirded out by the thought of an Airbnb and other people have slept there, other people live there? Like it's just that. I mean, okay,
Airbnb-
hotels are the same way. I get it,
Yeah.
but there's something about Airbnb
So
that
I'm with you to a
I've
certain
made this
extent.
argument about
I don't
hotels.
know.
It is exactly the
it's
same.
the same. I know.
I'm with you to a certain extent.
Except
So
there's more people.
Airbnbs, I don't have any issue with Airbnbs as long as I have the entire home or apartment. I'm not
Yes,
doing
not
this
a room or
not this
something.
not
Yeah,
this
yeah.
where I have the private room and the owner's still there. That's weird.
Yeah.
I
I'm
did that
out.
when I was younger, traveling a couple times when I was like in my 20s.
So that part,
You know?
that's where I'm at on the Airbnb. But Cody and I have talked about this because he has had a coworker of ours house sit before.
Yeah.
And I've given them a hard time, joking, but also somewhat serious, which is like, I'm like, your coworker is comfortable sleeping in the same bed you and your wife sleep in?
put on
I'm
clean
out.
sheets.
I'm out. I don't
What do
care.
I care?
I'm sure you clean the sheets. I don't deny that, but
Wait,
like,
you don't have like a guest bed for
No, I
these?
just have it's a 3-bedroom house.
And
so
our
you're either
coworker,
sleeping in our bed or you're sleeping in a kid's bed.
If
our
someone was
coworker
house-
sleeps in his bed.
If someone was house sitting for me and they slept in my bed that wasn't a family member, I'd be like, "What are you doing? Get
Thank
out
you.
of my room!"
But I
Thank
don't have
you.
a guest bed.
Exactly,
I have a kid's
Mackenzie.
Sleep on the
I
couch.
can't have to sleep on the couch.
Sleep on the couch.
Exactly.
That's a crazy request.
Oh, I think it's normal.
man.
I don't think you can sleep
No
in the
different
bed
than
of your
hotel.
coworker.
Do you have to sleep at the house? Can't you just like keep going over and checking on
That
the
too.
house?
The dog
That
makes
too.
it tougher. They were watching the reason they were house sitting is because the dog.
Oh my god!
You
they
can't just like
slept
leave
in
the dog.
your bed.
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I just well,
Maybe
maybe,
it's comes from
maybe it doesn't
7
bother
kids,
you as
all that
much.
stuff. We
I
all
think it should
shared
bother
rooms.
Kramer, our coworker. Maybe it shouldn't bother you. You're the one that stays there most of the time. He's sleeping in a bed that you guys sleep in, 350 nights out of the year.
Nah, that doesn't bother me. It's fine. It's no different than an Airbnb, no different than a hotel.
Maybe we're just weird.
Do you know how many people?
Maybe it's just us,
I guess so.
apparently.
Like,
Yeah.
what's the difference between like one person you know or the 8,000 asses?
It's
that's
about
been on that
you don't
hotel
want, but you
bed
don't want to know the
before
person. You
anything else?
don't want to know the person is
Oh
what
my
I'm
God.
saying. You don't
Yeah.
want to know that your coworker and him and his wife were in that bed and
Yeah.
you slept in it
Also, your hotel room is getting cleaned. Like I don't know.
constantly. I'm not
Yeah.
saying your sheets aren't clean, but
I
like
guess depending on
Oh,
the
and
person.
that's like the
how much it was.
Airbnb like decision.
Yeah.
Like, okay, do you do this or do that? I just feel like the hotel. I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't bother me. Wouldn't bother me on the other end either, I guess, in that scenario.
You're just so nice.
I love this. So Mackenzie, I don't know if you get this a lot as well. So anytime Cody and I disagree on something, and his involves like, his house and like with kids and everything, and then there was like, well, that's why you're single, Gold. So they explain this is why you and I are both single because
God.
we don't understand why it's okay to sleep in a
So too high
coworker's bed.
standards.
I'm like,
that's what someone just said.
that's what they
Beds?
said. Yeah.
We're
What?
single
How is
because
that?
we
What is
think
it?
it's weird.
Hey, I didn't
Someone
say
just slept
that.
in his bed.
That's what.
That's just personal preference.
This stuff I don't understand.
Let me
I don't
just say
understand.
that's not the reason I'm single. There's probably many other things you could say.
You don't think that if you went to therapy this afternoon, Gold, the therapist would be like, the number one reason you're single, not even willing to share.
Yeah, I don't think
not
that
even
would
willing
be.
to sleep in a different person's
Well, you
bed.
shouldn't be willing to share, if you know what I'm saying.
I think they break down some other stuff first.
I don't think that would be at the top of the list. If you were just more comfortable with your coworkers sleeping in your bed. What?
Then you would have a girlfriend.
What?
It's probably not the number one reason. No,
I don't think so.
Oh, God.
I don't think so.
Maybe we
913
should go to therapy just to see.
586
We need to see what someone
7965.
says about us.
it's telling.
Oh man.
You know?
People could place like
As someone who's been in
bets
therapy.
on what's wrong with us. What's the therapist going to say about
That'd
us?
be some interesting things.
It's the stuff you think.
Yeah.
It's the stuff you already know about yourself. Based on my experience in therapy, you go in there and you be like, what are they going to tell me about myself? Oh God, it's all the problems I already knew I had. It's not like a secret code. You know what you're up to. Unless you're a narcissist.
Oh God.
You know what you've been doing this whole time. And not like from the single perspective, just the general.
I got you. Yeah.
What things I need to work on as a person.
Yeah.
So
you need to hear somebody else tell you, Cody, instead of
That's
you.
usually what it is. Once they tell you, you're like, yeah, I know that's what's wrong with me.
That's right.
I have to
I've
pay
been
you
knowing
money
that.
for you to tell me what I already knew?
You know, but you were ignoring it otherwise. That's the point, right? You're like, I'm just going to shove that to the side. No one's going to pay any attention. You know?
God.
You just ignore those problems.
we already
for a
asked
while,
at the beginning last time. Big plans this weekend? Anything for Memorial Day weekend? You going out of town? You just got back from out
I
of
will
town.
be in town. I'll be working, but also my nephew is turning 1 on Sunday.
Nice.
So we have a
There you
little
go.
birthday party
That's
to go
fun.
to. But that's about all the excitement I have planned for my
Yeah,
weekend.
the weather
Those are fun.
kinda
They just
ruined
smash
it.
a cake.
Yeah.
What'd you get
What
him?
do they eat? I
don't
gotta
really.
buy something. Outing me on the
That's
radio.
fine.
I hope
That's-
Brian's not listening.
You got time? I mean, a 1-year-old.
Is this
wouldn't, so-
Brian's second kid now?
Brian's second
yeah,
kid.
it's her second.
Mhm.
That's what I thought.
Harper just finished kindergarten.
That's crazy. I remember when
And Cooper's going to be 1.
Desmond's
Yeah.
getting ready to finish kindergarten.
So exciting.
Yeah,
Kindergarten's huge.
Oh, yeah. Kindergarten's a big one.
It is.
He's
Are you
very
sad?
nervous. He was telling us, I still think he's in some sort of secret relationship with this girl, and now he's not telling me.
Oh, yeah.
Still going?
Oh, it's so deep. He was
Is
looking
this
at
the same
He got the
we were
yearbook
talking about?
yesterday. He got the yearbook yesterday, and when we were going through the kids, he covered her face. He's like, "Don't worry about it."
He covered her face.
Yo.
He doesn't want to get. He doesn't want to get into the conversation about what's going on between the two of them. So he's trying to like play it cool. I think. I don't know,
Did
man.
he
he's
circle
not
her
telling you
in the
stuff?
yearbook? I
Wow.
feel like when you're kids, you always circle the people you liked.
He hasn't done any of that yet. I think kindergarten's maybe a little early
Too
for like
young?
when you do
Okay.
the heart over their face or whatever, that stuff. Might be a little early for that. I'm not
Just
sure.
hags. Have a great summer.
But he was already expressing
That's
some
right.
concern about. He's like, we're not going to be in. He was like, it was like so introspective. He's like, we're not going to be in the same class anymore.
Oh.
We're just like, I was like, calm down. Like you're in kindergarten. You'll make new friends.
He's depressed.
He's getting a little.
Has he
he's getting a
asked?
little
To,
upset.
has he asked to be
He
able
was,
to?
getting, he was getting genuinely upset about it.
Has he asked to like be able to like I don't know for you to parents to set something up in the summertime for them?
He's always doing
And
that
have you said yes?
Well, for the kids I know, sure, I'll reach
But what
out.
about this kid?
Oh, her?
Yeah.
He's not asked about her, and I have not met her parents yet, so I don't even know where to start.
So that's
with.
a no
Wait,
go.
they're going to go to the same school, though, for first grade,
Presumably,
right?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
But look,
You know, long
I think-
summer though,
Yeah.
things
Long summer-
change.
I don't know if they're going to have the same
Things-
teacher.
things
I think
change.
I think things are going to probably change. Also, they do like essentially a kid draft in first grade, and knowing that they already have a on-record history of being in trouble for kissing, I'm pretty sure that
Wait.
they won't be in the same first grade.
Your kid got in trouble for kissing?
Yeah, she
School?
kept kissing him at school, and they wouldn't, and they a couple of times, and
Okay.
so they had to.
Wow.
He knows he's not supposed to, but he said, "I told her she can't anymore. She still wants to kiss me."
Okay, Desmond.
And then he said,
Okay,
"But we're in
Desmond.
love, so it's okay." And I'm
We
like,
are in love.
Well,
Wow. I
I'll be-
love that.
I'll be curious to see if we have a follow up in the fall